Mystical music, 100%.
So
I'll send it on Discord.
You know what? I'm feeling a little adventurous tonight, guys.
Whoa, how adventurous! Like,
I
how
don't know.
bad should we be worried about?
I'm feeling a little. I'm gonna go camera on tonight.
I don't even know if my camera will work.
Oh my gosh, I've never. You look. Wow.
You've
You
never
didn't know what
met
I look
Jordan?
like?
I've never seen you I've seen Instagram posts.
Jordan
Yeah,
can
sorry,
beat you up.
Yeah, he looks awesome.
He's ripped.
I-
He even
I'm a
said one day, he's like, "Do you think I could take Micah?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude." He's just like,
I can't take Micah. Micah is literally Spidey dude. So
No, I'm a stick. Okay, my brain, my bones snap.
I have the
If you
proportionate
can't take me,
strength
you have a
of
problem.
a sloth.
He
So
he is a stick. See, I'm what you would call stout, but I prefer grounded and hard to knock over.
dude, I've seen
He's
you
a
rock
potato.
climb, so I know you got it. But
He's a potato. It's okay.
Potatoes
Oh my
are hard to push over, Micah.
Exactly.
potatoes are also fucking delicious, Micah. So honestly, you've given Kirby the highest form of a compliment there.
Yeah. Some people
Wait,
would
so you
even
want
say,
to eat? You want to eat him?
some people would even
Probably.
say I'm a fried potato.
If I fried them up, I'm sure Kirby would taste delicious.
Yeah.
Do I look like I have any problem eating a full-grown man?
So stick that in your pipe and smoke it, Micah.
Also, I'm disappointed in you, Kenny.
Why is that?
You don't have a music channel on your Discord.
We'll get we can get it.
Yeah, we'll make a music channel. I'll put it right next to the 3,000 other things I gotta add to Discord over the past 23. Welcome to the Stone Gauntlet, guys. My name is Kenny Crick Irish Kirby. We're here to talk about our year in review, the best video games, the best TV shows, and the best anime. I am joined today by Rabble.
It's me, Rabble, anime manga extraordinaire. Happy to be here, guys.
I would turn on my cam, but it is broken.
No, it's okay. I'm just feeling a little saucy tonight. I don't know. I'm feeling good.
Rabble, you're looking good, dude.
Muscles. He's got to show his awesome face.
It's a little chunk, but thank you, Micah. Appreciate it.
I don't.
I've been working out.
I think we might actually get in trouble because I don't know if we could show your weapons of mass destruction on live Twitch.
You know,
That's
for a second
true.
there, I was scared because I thought maybe I left my guns in the background, and I was like, "Oh no!" Like the Twitch channel no longer exists. So, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
I'm also joined by Spider Dude.
I exist. I'm here. I'm alive.
A hell of an opening. You know, technically, science has been delving into consciousness and the link and how like we're all more or less linked together. So just being a sense of being is succeeding at life.
True.
I had this philosophical question this morning, right? Like, think about this for a sec. In the Terminator movies, everyone was like, the AI became self-aware, right? And humans believe they're self-aware. I mean, I think there's something to be said about the older religions like Judaism, Druids, pagans, Buddhism, people that are more connected to the earth than like the modern day religions. That they're all kind of linked together, and it seems more and more like we're living in a fucking computer program. Like black holes are just cables that connect the devices. Fucking stars are diodes. Earth are capacitors. So here's my question: if us understanding that we exist, you know, I think, therefore I am, was within our programming to do, is that truly self-aware? And if we are coming to the realization that on some quantum level we're all fucking linked, are we now actually becoming self-aware?
So could you dumb that down to like 2-year-old level so I can understand?
You live in a computer program.
Oh, okay, cool.
You're a 1 and a 0. And
The one here.
if that's the case, like let's say hypothetically we live in a computer program, guys, that means you are entirely here on this earth to be. You expend energy as a human being. You are doing your job, whether you are out working, having sex, jogging. Anything you do expends energy. So simply being you is succeeding at life. Good job.
I like where that went. Thank you, Kirby.
Very inspiring.
Thank you, Crook.
It's just-
Sorry.
It's just now that I think about it, I can't walk through that machine that the TVA has that says if you're a robot, it'll completely just disintegrate you.
Well, that was created by us to protect us from ourselves.
Well,
It reminds me of that movie AI with the kid. But honestly, maybe that's for next podcast.
Also,
But
welcome
I do
back.
love this topic.
Welcome back to the stream, Goatsmore. It's good to see you, as always.
yes.
And I love talking about consciousness. We spent about like 20 to 30 minutes discussing Divinity and Baldur's Gate and the fucking other stream, Crook and Murder. So I'm like, we brought a bit of Stone Gauntlet over there. We're bringing a bit of Crook and Murder over here. It's all one big melting pot. You guys are great. Thanks for being here. You ready to kick this off? Get into our top 3 faves?
I am ready.
Wait. No, I'm joking. We can continue.
All right, so I'm gonna do this like BuzzFeed does it. Coming in at number 3. No, we're gonna start with video game top 3. My third favorite video game this year, and this was a tough one. I want to preface this by saying you're gonna see stuff on this list that didn't come out this year. My philosophy with stuff like this is like, what did I do during the year, and what did I fully enjoy, so I can let the audience know, and perhaps they can go out and experience that.
Okay.
This game did come out this year, and it was a sleeper hit. Remnant 2. This tied.
I did fall asleep during it.
The what?
You said it was a sleeper hit. I did fall asleep during it.
Did you fall asleep during it? Is that why I carried you half the time? Remnant 2 beat my ass in more ways than one. And I remember I walked into my dad's like study and he was playing Remnant 1 and he was like, "Hey, this game's kind of fun. It's fairly easy." And I'm like thinking about Remnant, and I'm thinking about how Remnant like got all the press and shit, the first one, and I'm like, he's going to need my help. And sure enough, he got to the first boss and got destroyed. So I was like, I'm going to go in there with the fucking Dark Souls mentality and take this game by storm. I fell in love with 1. And 1 was a blast. I put in 2, and I still fucking love 2 to this day. As like, it's rare that when a DLC drops, I'll jump into a game and play it. Whether it's good or not, it's kind of weird that way. Usually when it falls off my radar, I don't care too much about it. But there are those standout games that make me return for the DLC. Whether that be Cyberpunk, Elden Ring, and now Remnant 2.
Okay. Damn, dude. Well, if you could summarize Remnant up for me, like what is the genre of Remnant?
So Remnant is a third-person shooter. I would say Gears of War meets Dark Souls, because it's got like the fluidity of Gears of War in its combat, where like, guns come first and you're upgrading them and shit, but it's got the difficulty of Dark Souls. Like, you have to know when to dodge, you have to be able to build your character the right way, but there are thousands of different builds that go out there and try. And then it throws a curveball on you because it deals with the multiverse, which means it's procedurally generated. Every adventure you go into in Remnant is almost entirely different. You'll see stuff you didn't see the first time around.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard it's really good. It's one of those unfortunate things of like, do I have time? no, where does this fall in? But no, I've heard great things. It's kind of funny though. It's almost like a sleeper game because I don't know a lot of people who play it, but everyone who does play it is like, this fucking game is awesome. So
I think I'm beginning to love those under the radar games. Like, I didn't even hear about fucking Remnant until Remnant 2 popped up and everyone was like, you should all play Remnant 2. Because Remnant to me seemed like a fucking one of those shovelware games that they release every year, like thousands of them.
yeah,
Typical run and gun, but it's not. It's on another level. If you manage to successfully pull off the fucking Dark Souls formula and add guns, you have my attention.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I actually did enjoy Remnant 2 playing it with Kenny. It's actually one game where I was like, okay, I'll check it out. Tried it alone for at first. Sucked at it. Kenny came in, destroyed everything, got me good stuff. I was like, oh yeah, now I'm good. Now it's just lighting people up.
It is a blast when you start seeing like your builds come together and the stuff you put on. Like, there's one ring in there that will give you health every time a bleeding person is nearby, and you can pair that with a ring that cuts into your finger that constantly makes you bleed. So you're just constantly healing. But it's shit like that. It's looking at two different items and going, will this work together? Putting them together and realizing that yes, the devs did think of this.
yeah, that's cool. No, I'll have to check it out. If I play it on Steam, is it crossplay? Like, can I play with you?
I don't know if it's crossplay yet, but I think it's going to be implemented.
Okay.
Remnant 2, I'll look into that on whether or not it's crossplay, but it's going to be. I know that when I was looking at it, because my dad likes to play on computer for some reason, I had to look that up, and I think the answer was it's coming.
Okay. Cool.
Well, it says PC Game Pass users and Steam and Epic users can play with each other.
Yeah, but I don't know if that means console too. It's probably Epic on PC.
But
Probably.
while one of you guys go over yours, I can look it up and get that answer to you.
Yeah. No, cool. Micah, you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. Hold on. I was searching it up. I'd say my third of this year, which which would be Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm not gonna lie, I absolutely love this game. Like, when I first started playing it, it just kept getting better and better and better. Like, to the point where now my Xbox background and home screen actually is Star-Lord with Fing Fang Foom in the background. In a scene I took a picture of, I was like, yes, mine. So, yeah, that would
Wait,
be
like,
my.
oh, go ahead.
you're talking about Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the first one on the list. I was like, well, you would be the first one on the planet to say that. But oh, I mean, not exactly like the first person, because I would actually agree with that. But sorry, I didn't mean to overshadow your topic.
Oh no, you're good. I was confused when you were like, "What do you mean by that?" I was like,
The go on, Jordan.
it's just a single player experience, right, Micah?
"Mm-hmm."
Okay. Like, so it's story driven. Oh, yeah, I'll have to pick that one up too. I've seen good things about it. I've heard it's a great story game. I've heard it's funny. So I'll have to pick it up on sale one of these days when I get some time. I'm like a boomer, no time.
Well, the best part is what Kenny mainly told me was what mainly got me into this game was the Guardians actually interact with each other the entire game.
They never shut up, and it actually works to their benefit.
That's
Like,
beautiful. Yeah.
they always talk shit to each other. Honestly, the thing about well, quick aside. Hello, OniRam93. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for supporting us.
Oh,
Yo, what's Oni Ram?
yes, thank you.
But the thing with the Guardians of the Galaxy game, at least the thing that I loved about it, is you never ever knew where it was going. Like, it would completely hit you from left field. It's like, okay, now we're going to go do this. Okay, now we're going to go do this. And you're like, I can't guess at all what's going to end up with this fucking game because they keep going in bizarre directions, which is how the Guardians of the Galaxy works. You know, like, you shouldn't be able to second guess their adventures. You should be along for the ride.
Yeah. Plus, it's also like Ace. Like, you can take several different paths. They do lead in the same direction, but like, there's one thing where you can either choose between Rocket or Groot to sell to the Monster Hunter lady. I actually don't know her name. She's the only boss that I didn't really remember her name with. But it was like, wow. Like, it has different outcomes, and like, you could either like completely piss Rocket off, or you could do that, or you can make him happy. And that's the
Yeah.
part.
I've actually seen that on like a YouTube video. Like, it got recommended to me. Yeah, it one thing I feel that's like lost is single player games nowadays will always try to have a multiplayer as well, right? And when you find a game that's single player and they just put a fuck ton of time into making the single player good, you actually get that like love between all the characters. It's kind of like the first Last of Us game, honestly. Like the relationship between Joel and Ellie, they're always talking, they're always bickering back and forth, or and it's just like that you actually like see a relationship form, and I think that's something that you don't get out of like a 2-hour movie, right? Because it's only 2 hours, they only have so much time. Whereas a video game, it's like all that time in between encounters is prime time to like form a relationship. So
That's why, like, I mean, look, I love the Last of Us show. I think it did the game justice and expanded upon it.
yeah,
But at the same time, when it comes to the dynamic between Joel and Ellie, you feel it
yeah,
far more in the game than you show.
yeah. Then that's just something that like, man, like, because I remember how hyped I was about Last of Us 2, because I was just like, more Joel and Ellie. I can't wait to see the bickering and the relationship. And I mean, then I was robbed of that.
Yeah, I
But
mean, technically, America's favorite psychopaths.
yeah, they are. So, but yeah, well, cool. Good pick, man. So honestly, my third pick, I struggled, man. Like, I realized I did not play a lot of games in 2023, or a lot of new games at least. So, I struggled between a bunch of indie games to pick out. Dave the Diver ended up taking my third spot. And honestly, it's just I was captured by it the entire time. Yeah, I recently learned, by the way, that it was not made by an indie developer. Like, they are technically indie, but they had like millions of dollars. So that was kind of a bummer to learn that like they're not really. It doesn't really matter, right? But they're not really an indie game, but still awesome game. Um, it combines a bunch of different elements that from like different pixel games that just it keeps you captured. Like, I think I played Dave the Diver right before Scarlet was born, and I had the week off before that because Alex was like going back and forth between the hospital, and that's literally what I did the entire time when I wasn't with Alex, was just like kind of play Dave the Diver, and I was just in it. I don't know. It's awesome. Any questions about it, guys? Or
Sometimes those indie games hit you from left field. Like, I could spend hours on fucking that one horror game that I love, Darkest Dungeon, or
yeah,
Dead Cells, just because it's so fucking well put together that
yeah,
it's like I'm having more fun with this than like fucking Call of Duty or
yeah.
or Overwatch, which I love Overwatch, but Overwatch is the type of game that I play until I want to upgrade my TV by putting a hole through it with my controller. You know?
Yeah. Well, it's really cool, like, because I actually just recently went to MagFest, and I played a fuck ton of indie games there, and all the devs were there, right? And I mean, like, really indie games, like games that weren't on Steam yet. People were just making for fun, or like, oh hey, we're gonna, we're beta, we're like not even beta or alpha testing. We're just like testing it with regular people, and it was cool because it's like these people are focusing on gameplay aspects and the loop rather than can we make this look good, right? Like some of them looked good, but a lot of them were like, they gave me that little dopamine hit. There was a purpose, there was a reason for me to play, and that Dave the Diver definitely gave me that.
I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to try this out.
Yeah.
I will probably end up. I even bought Vampire Survivors, but I haven't played that yet. So it's like I'll just put that right up there with fucking Vampire Survivors as a game that I'm gonna play when I finally have fucking time. Like if Diablo ever gives me the moment to play in Overwatch and now Suicide Squad, I feel like I'm putting way more fucking time into live service games than I am into like good single player experiences, which we're gonna talk about here in a bit.
Yeah. I mean, dude, if you like a game where you gather a resource and then you upgrade your stuff using that resource, then you'll like Dave the Diver. Like it's an endless loop of gathering a resource, upgrading your resources, gathering more resources, upgrading your resources. That is the dumbed down gameplay loop, but there's a lot of fun things in the middle.
Are you saying like it's almost a resource gathering game without shamelessly ripping off Pokemon?
Oh no, we're gonna. I don't think this podcast can fit that topic. Our world's the fucking best. But we can continue.
All right, on to my number 2. Sometimes guys, you just gotta save the fucking kingdom, and Legend of Zelda comes in at number 2 for me. Tears of the Kingdom, and
Yeah.
I was wondering what that was because it says Zordo.
Legend of
I was
Zordo.
like, what is the Legend of Zordo?
I almost put something else in its place, but then I was like, oh shit, I forgot Zelda. Zelda made developers think about how they make games. Like everybody out there that was like, oh, you can't put this on the Switch. Nintendo went fucking hold my beer. They made a game where the only thing that holds you back in the game is your own imagination. Almost anything can be built in the fucking Kingdom of Hyrule, and almost like I'm talking everything from a simple ladder to a fucking B-54 bomber. Like people have made shit in Zelda that shouldn't exist in Hyrule, and then wipe the floor of everybody in it.
Seriously? Yeah, I can make the Death Star.
You could probably make the Death Star.
Make the Death Star, yeah.
Like I was fucking surprised at what they managed to do, and they fit it all on the Switch without loading screens. They made every other developer in this year, except for one, who we're going to talk about in a second, look like a bitch by being like, "We could do this. What have you got?" And that's kind of my take on Zelda.
Yeah. No, I mean it's funny because I don't know, I felt like with the next Legend of Zelda game, I felt like they were either going to do what they normally do and like just completely change the formula or try to do the same thing they did. And when I first saw it, I was like, they're just going to like reskin. And then it ended up being a kind of a reskin, but holy shit, they built upon it so much that it's not. They essentially just said we're just gonna make this way fucking better, and that's what they did.
They made Breath of the Wild look like a demo, and that's hard to do. Like
I have no reason to ever play Breath of the Wild now. I can just play the new one.
Tears of the Kingdom knocked it out of the park, and that's why it's sitting at number 2 for me. Also, OGT Nasty, welcome to the stream. Thank you for stopping by today. I hope you enjoy our picks for the top 3 games, movies, and anime this year. Anybody else got anything to add to Zelda?
I haven't played it yet, so
That's okay. I will go out there and play it for you.
Okay.
I know, like, everybody's like, Kenny, he spent the most time on Diablo. And technically that's true. Yes, I probably got somewhere in like 27 days worth of game time I've checked on Diablo. But Diablo 4 is not game of the year material. Nor is some of the other games I've played this year. The ones that stand out are the ones that I'm talking about.
Did you say 27 days?
I've spent 27 days in Diablo. But know this. My rogue's ass is on point.
Just saying, those were
That's
all
all that
in a
matters.
row. Those 27 days were just don't.
Basically, yeah, and I'm still adding to it because I'm playing season 3. And I'm reading like the Reddit boards and everybody's like, this season sucks. And I'm like, I feel like Megatu in fucking Zoolander, where it's like, it's the same fucking look. The game never changed. It's the same thing. Each season, you get a stick to hit demons with the stick, so you can get a bigger stick so you can hit more demons.
See, and this is why I ignore all of social medias and everybody's opinions on it. It's because, like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of moving to the movie section, but Morbius, I actually kind of enjoyed. Everybody else absolutely hated it and like put so much trash on it. And I get like you guys might too, but like I actually kind of enjoyed it. I'm glad I actually went into and saw it.
No, see,
Yeah.
that's why we love you, Micah, because you are
not
like,
jaded.
I like what I like. If I'm going to talk about Sonic Prime for 30 minutes, I'm going to talk about Sonic Prime for 30 minutes. You can fuck off, Jordan and Kirby.
Yeah, Kenny.
So,
You know
yeah.
what? I actually respect that about you because you're like immovable, and it's fantastic. It is the reason why you're going to be able to play the Suicide Squad with me because you've told the rest of the world to fuck off when they've already buried the game. Also,
Yeah.
OGT, no, I have not beaten it yet. I'm actually probably going to restart it simply because it's been so long.
Also, the funny thing is, that's the main reason I want to see Hazbin Hotel, because supposedly the main character literally just said, screw all of hell, I'm going to try to redeem everybody in here and send them to heaven. And I was like, okay. I
Also,
support.
Busy Bop draws her chicks really hot, so yeah.
Yeah. I actually started liking Charlie Morningstar. We don't talk about that.
See, this thing about Spider Dude, he tells the world to fuck off, but with a happy attitude. You are right,
Yeah.
and welcome to the stream, Soggy Bees Knees. Thank you for joining us today.
We'll talk about it later, but never mind. We'll continue on. I'll tell you guys some Hazbin Hotel drama later.
Oh, okay. I do love drama.
It's not about the show. It's not about the show per se. It's about it, but it's not. The show is pretty good.
Are we going to discuss it on the podcast? Because that's podcast material, Holmes.
I'm on. Actually, you know what? I'll talk about it later
but,
too.
Yeah, but we'll move on to your next game, Micah. Spidey dude.
Okay, sorry. My second game, which Mr. Oniram is going to enjoy, is Overwatch. I'm not gonna lie, I started it, absolutely like wanted to rage quit at it because first going into it. But now that I'm just playing, I am like zipping around as Tracer, throwing dynamite as Ash, blowing people up with Junkrat, becoming a giant turret with Bastion. It's fun. Or ramming people with Reinhardt.
Okay, so this is what I was like when you're like, when I keep playing, it gets better and better. I was like, you're probably the only person that's ever said that about Overwatch, because, but look, I like Overwatch. I really do. Overwatch has the physics, it has the makings of a great game, and I will sit down and play it. Like you, me, and Nick, we play that shit all the time.
Yeah.
But continuously playing Overwatch, eventually I want to put a hole in my wall. Because there isn't...
that's like you'll play it for like 10 hours straight.
Yeah, I've done that on Saturdays, and then I'm just like, I hate the entire world afterwards.
That's when you
Because-
just watch Paddington.
Yeah, I know. Or just play Overwatch while watching Paddington.
Or
Overwatch
that.
is fantastic once you learn the maneuvers of it. Like, I got into this Reddit fucking discussion with this dude that was like, you know, because he was like trying to talk about how he wasn't smurfing by creating an alternate account and like fighting noob guys to warm up. And I'm like, that's the definition of smurfing. And he's like, no, you don't have any benefit over the new guys. I'm like, you do. You know the maps, you know the health packs, you know what each alt does, you know the callouts for the alt. You know, you're gonna stomp new people that are just coming in. Simply because you played the game like 10 more matches than they have, if that. You know, like even just doing that, you have an advantage over anybody brand new to Overwatch.
Yeah.
I kind of wish Overwatch ranked is too. I don't know. It's weird. Ranked is a little bit too intimidating for some people, but then casual's like too casual. Like I know it's the same thing, but what I would love to see them do is instead of having tanks, attackers, support, I would love to see them actually like divide up like attackers into like 2 or 3 sections. And then, for example, like tell you things like, "Oh, hey, your guy picked this tank. These are the attackers that pair well, or these are the support that pair well," and kind of help new players understand. Because like some people will just pick up Overwatch and they'll be like, "Well, I saw the hamster and he looked fucking cool, so I'm gonna play as Ball for the rest of my fucking life." And it's like, cool. Ball kind of fucking sucks, dude. Can you please play somebody else? But like they don't understand that like you're trying to like pick on comp, but I don't know. Also, who the fuck am I to say how people should play their game, right? But I don't know. I think that would be something Overwatch could improve from, but I don't know.
I think
What do you guys?
Oniram put it good down here. It's like it's a 50-50 of the games. You know,
Yeah.
it's like it's either you're rolling or you're getting rolled. You know, it's frustrating when you lose game after game, but it's also exhilarating when you're winning game after game after game. But
Yeah.
you can
Well-
never fully know what you're walking into.
Well, and I think that's why it can be very 50-50 though. It's like, for example, if one of your attackers picks a attacker that's countered easily by the other 2 attackers or by like the other tank, that essentially one of your teammates is useless, and then it will just cause this steamroll, right? It falls down, and the game doesn't teach you team comp. It just teaches you like, well, this is how you fucking put your shield up. This is how you pick up a health packet, but it doesn't teach you team comp or like how to play as those players. And I think that's why Overwatch kind of like has this steamroll. It's I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's why I've
I'm-
started doing the outside tactics of Overwatch. Like if I'm Diva, I'll walk into like groups of enemies and just scream, "Is this easy mode?" over and over and over again to psych them out. Or if I'm Sombra, I'll hang out by the enemy team where like outside their field of vision and say stuff like, "This one has teeth." Wow. You know,
Oh,
just-
Well, it especially helps when you have a Widowmaker. She's a big morale boost.
and then you got Widowmaker, who's a morale boost every time you die. You're like, "Oh shit, now I can watch that for a bit."
Y'all are. See, I'm like trying to dissect the game at its competitive core, and you guys are like, "Widowmaker's got a fat ass."
So, like,
That's some good shit.
I can't tell you how many times I've been stomped by some fucking asshole in Overwatch and just not
Yeah.
ready to throw my controller. And I'm like, "Oh, there's Widowmaker."
Yeah,
then-
and that's one more game. One more game. Okay.
Yep, I got this. Although, honestly, I read this rule that this one guy has one time about Overwatch, and he said he'll play 3 games, and if he loses all 3 of those games, he's done
He's
for the
done.
night.
Yeah.
You know, but if he wins like even one of them, he'll continue playing.
Yeah.
I wish I did that with Tarkov, but I'm a sadist, so I don't, and I end up hating myself by the end of the night. But yeah, well, cool. Well, is there anything else you guys wanted to say about Overwatch?
Yeah. I did want to say Overwatch is kind of the reason, like, one thing that started to make me realize I am extremely good with fast characters. Because it started all with Smash with Sonic. Ooh, I annoyed Kenny with that. And now I got Tracer, and I'm like,
And now he's going to
Yeah.
annoy me as Captain Boomerang. So,
yep,
looking
with
forward to
Oni-
that.
the speed gauntlets.
Yeah, Oni Ram, if they like classified them as like glass cannon or like this is your hits can characters, this is your this is your bomb characters, like put Junkrat and Farah in their own thing. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I think they should have their own little passive to help their playstyle too.
Yeah, instead of just everybody health regen, which
Yeah.
is kind of what they're talking about. And I get that that's taken out of context, but fuck it, whatever. You know what? I don't care. I'm still gonna play it. I'm still
Call of Duty.
I'm still gonna buy the skins. You had me at hello, Overwatch. I'll continue playing you.
Imagine taking 762 to the chest and then just being like, yeah, 10 seconds have passed. I'm good now. Yeah, well, I'm interested in see that. I like It's one of the few games my sister will play a lot of. So, but yeah, um, yeah. So I'll go to my second, and honestly, I'm giving it to Counter-Strike 2. I know neither of you have played that
Yeah, no, I'm
or
sorry.
watched it.
I played
Do you know-
Counter Strike once,
Okay.
and I was like, I saw everybody kind of go ahead of me and like crouching, and I'm like, what a bunch of fucking losers. And I go running around the corner and immediately get sniped dead, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh.
Yeah. Counter-Strike. Oh, here, my wife texted.
That's a very Kenny thing to do. Is just, oh yeah, you guys are chickens. Heck yeah, is this easy mode?
Here, Oniram,
Oh.
if you type out your question, I'll try to answer it for you. I'm a big I went to the 2018 Boston Major and fucking I love Counter-Strike. Like I used to there was a year where I think I sunk like 700 hours. And just I mean, and that might not be a lot compared to Crook Irish, but that was a lot for me. but,
Wait, how much?
700 hours in like a year, so
Yeah, probably rivals my Diablo time.
that's a little, but
Diablo
not as
3.
much.
But yeah.
But I don't know. It's just Counter Strike. If you own a PC, Counter Strike is like $15 now. It's one of the greatest like first-person shooters in my opinion, just because of how it how the game goes. It's and here the question is the loot box things like karambit knives, like Emerald Damascus or something like that. I hear they're worth stupid amounts of money. Is that in-game money or like somehow you sell it for real-time money? Okay, so I'll explain this system really quick. So no, the skins do not cost in-game money. In-game money is actually round-based. So like for example, when you start playing the game, like you load into a game with 4 other people that Valve graciously gives you. They usually suck. You play with 4 other people, and then the other team has 5 other people. And so it's 5v5. You start out with like $800. You start with $800 and a starter pistol. When you kill people, you get money. If you win the round, you get money. And so how you win rounds is you have 1 life. If the counter terrorists kill all the T's, they win. If the terrorists kill all the counter terrorists, they win. If the terrorists plant the bomb and the bomb goes off, they win. If the counter terrorists prevent the T's from not planting the bomb, even if they're still alive, by the end of the round, the counter terrorists win. So it's it's this weird game of essentially there's an in-game economy that they're buying essentially you don't just buy whatever weapon you want every time, because if you die, you don't take that to the next round. You start with just the starter pistol again. So it essentially creates this game of buying weapons. If the round is over, you pick up a gun that might be more expensive than yours and then giving it to your teammate if they use it. Like the sniper, for example, is like $6,000, where an M4A4 is only like 2,000 something. So I don't know, but I could go on for hours, and I'm not going to. That was all I wanted to explain about that, because Oni Ram was wondering about the items. So Counter-Strike is like one of the first NFTs. All the guns have skins on them. Then you unbox them from a box you can get, and you pay like $2.50 to unlock it, and it randomly gives you a skin from the collection that box is in. And some skins are more rare than others. And then you sell them on the Steam market for real money. So like one time I sold a new M4A1S skin for like $300. And what's crazy is prices have gone way up ever since Counter-Strike. Like a knife that would have sold $400 a couple years ago is going for like $2,000 now. And people are buying them. People are insane. So yeah, and what's really cool is some skins have floats. So like for example, if I have like case hardened, it's actually this big image, and it has like a pattern on it. The knife will just kind of be like displayed on it, like as if you like pushed it through almost, and that's going to have a different float value, and it's going to decide how it looks. But that's all I'm going to talk about Counter-Strike, because I could talk forever, and I think I've already talked too much. Do you guys have any questions on it?
Yeah, not really.
Yeah, Counter-Strike 2 essentially just updated the engine and changed the whole matchmaking system, which I won't get into because that shit's long as fuck as well. But a lot of people would complain about it and say, "Oh, they did all these bad things." But honestly, I think they are just creating something brand new. Like, we can't just keep playing the same Counter-Strike Global Offensive forever. So I'm glad it came out this year. It is my number 2 for sure. So thank you guys for coming to my podcast about Counter-Strike. Have a good night. Yeah, okay. We can move on now. I don't want to talk about Counter-Strike anymore. I can feel everyone's brains rotting.
All right, so number 1 for me this year, and I want to preface this by saying I haven't even played this game. But before I get shat on for that, allow me to explain. I recently started playing a game made by the same developers called Divinity 2. And, by the way, spoiler alert, it's Baldur's Gate 3. Now, when I started playing Divinity, I had Baldur's Gate 3 on my fucking, what's that? Wish list on Xbox. Because I was like, when it goes fucking on sale, I'll buy it. You know? I've heard about it. I know it clean sweep the video game awards. I know everybody that played it claimed it was a masterpiece. I didn't understand it until I played Divinity 2, why that is. You see, when I started playing Divinity 2, I was like, oh, this is actually pretty good. Once you get into the story, once you get into the lore, once you start making decisions and realizing you have true freedom like you would in, say, a D&D game, Divinity hits its fucking stride. And as soon as I completed Act 1 of Divinity 2, some 40 to 60 hours later, because that's literally how fucking long 10% of the game is, I went and bought Baldur's Gate 3 at full price.
Wow.
I'm like, if Baldur's Gate 3 is even marginally better than this game, it deserves Game of the Year award. Now I know it's better than that. Like, it's better than Divinity by like 10 times. So
yeah.
I looked at that and I went, oh shit. You know, instead of going out there and buying skins for whatever the fuck, I need to be supporting these developers. Because they put the fucking bar way high up there. And they went, you know, this is what gamers really want. It was a love letter to not only gamers, but to D&D fans. Larian Studios knocked it out of the park with this game. And then, to come on when Ubisoft was talking some fucking corporate bullshit about how we should all get used to a fucking subscription service so we can play their fucking games, to have Larian Studios CEO come in and basically be like, when it comes to games, gamers should come first. There should be no fucking corporate shill between us and the gamers. You will never see one of our games on your fucking subscription service. That just rose my respect for that studio to another level. Guys, go out and buy Baldur's Gate 3. Even if you don't plan on playing Baldur's Gate 3, buy Baldur's Gate 3. And then play Baldur's Gate 3. Because you should be supporting that.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. That's one of the biggest things. Is funny. People will be like, "Oh my god, that game is so great! It's so great they're doing this." And then I'll be like, "What game did you buy this year?" "Oh, I bought Call of Duty for the fucking 20th year in a row." It's like, what are you doing? Like, stop. Like, you know, next time you're about to buy a game, really think, you know, is this something new? Is this something I'm really going to enjoy? Or is this just another dopamine hit of seeing that little level rise all the time, right? Because there's so many games out there that do exactly what Call of Duty Battle Royale does, but they do it fucking better. I mean, it's just like shit, like Tarkov. Like they're not a great example, but like, dude, they're doing something fucking brand new, right? Like, go play that. Go. It actually requires you to learn and think instead of just I don't know. But also comes back to it. Buy whatever the fuck you want. You're the consumer, but don't complain if they release the same reskin game again and again.
And yes, Oniram, like it's almost scary that the fucking game industry is going in that direction, where it's like
Yeah.
pay by the hour. That's pay to win at the end of the day. And if Ubisoft is like, we created this 300-hour fucking Assassin's Creed game that's really about 10% of content and about 300 hours of filler to get to the end, or 290 hours of filler to get to the end, I'm not paying for that fucking bullshit. You know,
Yeah.
give me something that has like meaningful interactions all throughout, even if it's short, like the game fucking Mike is about to talk about. If it is straight up a good game throughout its entire runtime, good. Like that's fantastic. I don't care if it's like between 15 and 30 hours, but if it is to the point and fantastic and it doesn't waste my fucking time, I'll play it. Last of Us is like that. The game Mike is about to talk about is like that. Baldur's Gate is like that, but then it went, here's an extra 300 hours on top of it
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
meaningful content that is fun to play.
And I'm not gonna lie, like, to tell you the truth, Kenny actually invited me to play Divinity 2. And I was like, okay, this is probably just gonna be. I played Kenny, might get a little bit bored. But I've actually had the funnest time ever. Even though it's probably ticked Kenny off several different times.
He's the world's worst rogue. I was like, hey, Micah, all you gotta do as a rogue is get behind the enemy and stab them in the back. You get, honestly, a critical hit every time. And the very first thing he does is walk straight up to a giant alligator and punch it in the face.
But like that I love that. Like it's just like Kenny has this like whole strategic mind. Well, my mind goes the complete opposite way and says, I'm gonna fuck around and find out.
I'm gonna cold clock an alligator?
I went into the jaws of that thing and I found Afro.
He basically died the very next round, and I was like, well, that's what happens when you're a rogue.
The
But yeah.
freedom of choice.
But I also love how like eventually Kenny did give up because he's like, okay, yeah, I guess this is our villain arc like round because I would no joke steal from everybody and end up killing everybody.
Yeah, and then somewhere along the line we switched places because then I was like, all right, let's just go fucking murder everyone, and then we'd be talking to somebody and I'd be like, no, fuck you, and we'd get into a fight, and then Micah would be like, maybe you should let me talk to them so that way we can persuade them and be nice. And I'm like, what am I in fucking Bizarro World? Like, let's choose one arc. This is
it's
what
balanced. It's balanced. You guys complete each other. You balance each other out. So it's beautiful, really.
Although I do have one problem. This is gonna be Spider Dude's one hate of the month of the podcast. The human characters, they're fat. I don't like that.
Whoa.
I want it to be
Whoa.
funny.
Whoa.
Whoa.
PHAT fat. Listen.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kabam.
Whoa.
My chick's already banged a skeleton, which afterwards I realized was technically necrophilia. But I was like, you know what? Maybe she's just really into that.
Yeah,
It's about right.
this is 2024, guys.
Yeah. We're open.
Yeah, we're open to all that, and you can be fat now, Micah. Okay, we don't have to be skinny
Well,
Montana.
I want to
Okay?
be skinny, okay? That's my opinion. I don't care about anybody else's opinion.
And Baldur's Gate 3, I'm pretty sure you could run around naked, Micah, so you could just do that. And
See,
But is the character skinny? Is
I
the
thought
character
Micah was going to
skinny?
bring up the fact that you can pick out of like 20 different cocks, but he said how fucking dare they have fat characters?
No, I'm just gonna have like the biggest like heel, and then I'm gonna have sex with that bear.
see, how are you going to attract the bear without some
Conk.
cushion
Yeah, dude.
for the
Yeah,
pushing?
you gotta have
Okay.
a little cush, you
Yeah.
know. You can't have sex with a bear with no cush.
You can't just run through the forest trying to bang bears and be a stick. They'll mistake you for sticks on the ground.
Oh, trust me. The funny thing is,
You
Oniram,
should see
as
Power Roll.
soon as Pal World came out, I no joke made the ugliest character possible. I made a female body that was super skinny, super buff arms, a very Chad face, and like Harley Quinn hair that was all blue. That was my character. After that, I was like, after I punched a couple of chickens and then swam, I was like, okay, I'm leaving
This
now.
is why free will should be taken away.
This
from
is
people.
why it's hard to play Divinity with them guys. I'm just I'm right there.
Well, it's not my fault half the characters hate lizards, okay?
You make them hate lizards.
Yeah, you're enforcing the stereotype.
You're the reason they hate lizards. All right, let's move on to Micah's number one.
Oh yeah, my number one was probably my favorite game of the year, actually. Technically it is. But that would be Spider-Man 2. I enjoyed the first and second one with Miles and Peter, and then just this one, it was just like constant gameplay that I literally probably didn't sleep that week. Plus, I dreaded going to school wanting to play this.
That isn't just a normal feeling.
Yeah.
No, that's good. I'm truly the world's worst PS5 owner because I bought a PS5 and then I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play Spider-Man. Still haven't played Spider-Man. Didn't play God of War. What other exclusives are out on PS5 right now?
Uncharted.
Okay,
Yeah.
I played Uncharted, but is there a new Uncharted game?
No, not yet.
Oh, you almost got me. They're releasing another?
No, they just released the remaster of Last of Us 2 for some reason. But like, they add a bunch of content, but at the same time,
yeah, okay. It's like, yo, here's a flower, and then they kicked me in the nuts when they said Last of Us fucking multiplayer is gone. I was like, fuck you guys. Like, why even? Yeah, they were gonna add basically like an extraction looter shooter, but with the Last of Us engine, and I was so fucking hyped.
Yeah,
and
but then they realized they had no chance against a game like the day before.
I know, dude. It's just, dude. This is a top. I'm not gonna. I can't go in the extraction looter shooter route. I won't talk about it. I'll talk about it next podcast because I'm just so sad. I want to see more of this genre. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's like the dark zone of the whatever the Division.
Yeah, kind of, but yeah, it is. It is, but just so many games. I don't get it. I'm getting into. Oh yeah, I didn't tell you guys this. I've started learning Unity, so I'm gonna start making my own little games.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll send you guys a picture of the first model I actually made. So here, give me 1 second. You guys will laugh. But well, here, go ahead. And is there is there anything else about Spider-Man you liked, Micah? Like how long did it end up being?
That's a good question.
About 30 hours. When I was playing,
okay,
I loved Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 was the game that I picked up for the weekend and I just could not put down until I beat it. It was like that enthralling.
That's honestly 30 hours is a very modest amount, without being too fucking long. And I bet it was all pretty good.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
I said, it never wasted your time once. Like everything I did in Spider-Man 2 was on point. And it would have definitely have been on my list. The only problem is 2023 was chock full of fucking games that knocked
Yeah.
it out of the park between like Resident Evil 4,
Yeah.
Dead Space remake, fucking Legend of Zelda, Baldur's Gate 3, Remnant 2, Starfield in 10 years when the monitors finally fix it. And all the other like good shit that dropped this year. And then of
Yeah.
course Diablo 4 as well.
Yeah. Although I do have one tip: do not go until the end to actually level up.
That's what you did, right?
Yeah,
That's honestly pretty cool, though.
I fought the lizard level like 15.
Micah
It
was
was
just
not a
like
fun battle.
hard mode. He was just like, I want to play Dark Souls, Spider-Man, Spider Souls. And I was like, dude, just go level up. Do the side quests. And I'm like, there's one side quest. I don't know. Spoiler alert. If you don't want to hear it, so plug your ears. But there's a part where you're fucking going after this guy that's like the Crimson Fire. And I remember texting Micah and being like, I'm pretty sure this is Carnage. I'm 100% positive this is Carnage. And then at the end of that side quest, he comes up to Spider-Man as he's entrapped, and he's just like escaping. By the way, still spoiling it, Jordan, if you don't want to hear it.
Oh, I heard it, so.
And he's just like, let there be carnage, and gets out of the way and like jumps on the helicopter and escapes. And I'm like, holy shit, Micah, did you just see that? They've just introduced the fucking like one of the best Spider-Man villains of all time. And he's like, nah, man, I'm level 15. And I'm like, motherfucker.
This man over here fought Venom level 50. Everything upgrade. I fought Venom level 20. Okay.
Yeah, I still kind of got my ass kicked. I found out that Miles is massively overpowered. Like his what's that? Counterattack breaks that game because you can literally
Yeah.
just counterattack pretty much everything and decimate them as Miles.
Well, I actually also really like that. Like what they did with the whole Spider-Man thing is they literally made it so Peter and Miles had two separate group of villains that mostly only one of them could fight. Like Miles and Sandman, you touch one of those sand characters, they automatically turn to stone. It's like, oh, okay, cool. And then with Peter, spoiler alert, when he gets the anti-venom suit, easily all the symbiotes are just boom, boom, dead. It's like, okay.
Anti-Venom?
So like, yeah,
Oh
anti-venom.
yeah, another spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Damn.
But it's to compensate because they have a Venom skill tree when you're Venom in the game, which they did really well. Way better than Spider-Man 3. Unfortunately, you didn't go into jazz bars and do weird dances, but you did become more and more upset, like as Peter Parker.
The fact that you don't do jazz dances makes me happy that I didn't buy the game.
Ruined 100%. And then of course it has one of the most touching side quests and I've ever played in a video game, to the point where it almost made me fucking cry. Because I was
You
like,
didn't. I'm disappointed in you, you heartless monster.
I teared up. Okay.
Okay.
There's
okay,
one
good.
place on this list where I will admit I cried, and we'll talk about that when we get to it. But on that fucking side quest, I teared up because about midway through it, I was like, oh, I see where this is going. And it's
Yeah.
like this kind of like, it's not even a throwaway character. It's a character that's in each of the games. But you kind of like have a connection with him throughout it, and they wrap up his story quite nicely. To the
Yeah.
point where I went and added the song that they played in that level onto my Spotify list.
Could you send me that song?
Yeah, I will. I will.
for it. But
Don't you
yeah.
love when games can like add such an extra layer of meaning to a song or like media in general?
Yeah.
Like I listen to Future Days all the time now because of Last of Us, because that's the song that Joel sings to Ellie in the beginning of the game.
I listened to the Whippoorwillows song from The Last of Us. You know, where it's
Which
just
one?
like, and the whippoorwillows were crying in the fields, and it's like this really so melodramatic song.
Oh shit! Nah, I'll
I'll
have to listen to that one.
I'll send it to you. I'll go find these songs for both of you guys and send them to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My top pick, guys, kind of really the only reason I picked it is because it's basically Counter Strike in VR. So my pick was Breachers, dude. You both have Oculus headsets, right?
Yeah.
And you both have a 2, right? It's not a 1. Like you have
Uh,
Yeah.
a 2.
I have the Quest 2.
Dude, go play Breachers, man. It's Counter Strike plus Rainbow Six Siege in VR. It's a 5v5 shooter, and but it's like got repelling and stuff. You repel on the windows. It's so much fun. I don't know. Like I've been playing a lot more VR shooters lately, and I just love Breachers. Kind of like I see Breachers being one of the few VR games that's going to have like an esports scene within the next 5 years, where you're going to be seeing stuff where it's like, oh, this Breachers, Cloud9's got a Breachers team, and FaZe has a Breachers team. I guarantee it. Have you guys played it or seen anything of it?
No. I actually have
It's
not.
all good. It's Yeah, I mean same thing. Round starts, you have a starter pistol. You can upgrade to another pistol, or just go into that round with that pistol and save your money. But you've got gadgets. You can put like trip mines in places, like sound alarms. But it's just so much fun, and also playing with like real people just gives it like this extra layer. Like I don't know, like it's funny. You meet a lot of squeakers who are really annoying, but like there was this one kid this one night that I was playing with, and he was just being cool. Like he was just being a cool kid. I added him. Like sometimes I'll hop on, I'll see he's playing, I'll join his game, whatever. Like it's neat that you're like can make friends with people like online and like VR like that, because it's like I don't know. There have been nights where I've played poker with somebody in VR. I'm like, oh dude, I'll add you on Steam, and we've actually played like Tarkov together and stuff. So I don't know. VR is just really cool. I gave Breachers my number one because I just feel like it's pushing VR in the right direction. That's it for me, guys.
No, I think that's the future of gaming is VR. Honestly, like I can't think of anywhere else it could possibly. But maybe I'm just very close-minded. But
No, I mean, no, dude. Have you seen they've developed this new flooring that you can just like walk on with socks, and it like allows you to kind of push your feet forward, but you don't move. And they're gonna like try to implement that in a way so that you can actually like walk around in virtual worlds and run and stuff. So
all
I'm
right,
hyped.
hype as they say.
Yeah, very hype. No cap, for real, for real.
It's totally stonked.
I heard myself.
Yeah, I'm
I did
sorry.
too.
I was testing something. Listen,
No,
I
you're good.
learned some new teen lingo. All right, stonks. And for instance, Micah told me last week that on Friday he was going to quote unquote riz up some chicks and get
Oh,
stonked. And I was like, cool, man. Well, when you're done with that, let's play Overwatch. I guess that's what it means to play Overwatch. I don't know.
Well, I gave him homework, and he failed it automatically.
How did I fail that? Look, I looked up Riz and I was like, that's Riz, dude. Based,
Yeah,
bro.
but I told you to riz up Widowmaker. Instead, you didn't. Instead, you made up words. Let's see. Let's go find your strange made up words real quick.
Listen, man, your version of rizzing up Widowmaker is very different than my version of rizzing up Widowmaker. It's kind of like, say, the difference between Disney and X videos.
Hold on. I'm gonna find those words that you made up, just so people know. Frizzle my nizzle.
Yep, that's common terminology.
Never heard that in my life, but okay.
What do you mean you never look?
Y'all are too much.
Listen, dude. Look, don't get stonked over it, okay? It's based.
OG, if you're still on here, this is what I mean. It's kind of been a struggle.
Micah, even I've heard of that. See, Soggy
Soggy
Bee's knees is on my
Bee's
knees,
knees.
or is on my side. You need to
What
learn
did
your
he add
scene.
to his profile picture? Twitch
what?
recap? Oh, okay. He just got a weird thing in front of his thing.
All right, so moving on to the top TV and movies of this year. Number 3 for me is The Fall. I mean, are you guys ready to move on?
No, I was never ready.
All right.
Too bad.
The Fall of the House of Usher. Very rarely have I seen a TV show, or a movie for that matter, adapt Edgar Allan Poe's short stories so poetically.
Yes.
You know, like, while watching that, and of course, I'm just absolutely in love with Mike Flanagan and his wife. Everything Flanagan has ever done, I've loved. Midnight Mass, fucking the Haunting of Hill House, the Haunting of Bly Manor. I remember talking to my coworker, and he was just like, when are you gonna watch The Fall of the House of Usher? And I'm like, well, when I carve out some time, because once I start that, I'm not stopping until it's done. And lo and
That.
behold,
Go ahead. Sorry.
that's exactly what happened. The Fall of the House of Usher definitely deserves a third spot on my favorite movies and TV I've seen this
Dude, it was gonna be my number 1 if you didn't have it. Like, 'cause that shit is so good. Everyone needs to watch it. Like, I will personally Venmo you $1 if you tell me to watch the whole thing and you think it's dog shit. And instead of $1, I'm gonna fly to your house and fuck you up. No, but seriously, it's amazing. Like, honestly, it's just such a good. Me and my family watched it over Christmas, and literally all of us, like, if there was no baby in the house, we would have just watched all of it in one go, right? But we were held back by the baby a little bit.
I would even call it bussin'.
It's bussin' for real, 100%.
No cap.
Yeah, dude, it's so good. Micah, go watch it.
Okay. Hey, it's got Mark Hamill in it?
Yeah, it's got
Yeah.
Mark Hamill.
Yeah, dude, it's okay. This is funny as shit because Mark Hamill's talking, and I was like, bro, Mark Hamill sounds so much like Skips from Regular Show right now. I was like, he sounds exactly like Skips. You guys watch Regular Show?
No.
I haven't seen it, no, but I
Oh my
do.
God.
I've seen clips of it.
Oh, you guys need to watch that too.
Okay.
I learned that Mark Hamill voices fucking a monkey in Regular Show. Like, and I was like, holy shit, I didn't know Mark Hamill like did that. like I don't know. I just thought of him as such like high caliber that I was like, he's not gonna be a monkey on Cartoon Network, right? Like, but I don't know. It was just funny.
Talk about one of the most prolific like voice actors / actors. I mean, you go from playing fucking Luke Skywalker, a whiny farm boy, to essentially becoming one of the most iconic Jokers out there.
Yeah.
As well as like this dynamic range of like the Trickster, and like the Flash, or the Fall of the House of Usher, their lawyer, and they're all like played differently.
Yeah. He's so good. And yeah, he like man, definitely a huge part of it. What were you gonna say, Michael?
I just love as I searched it up and saw Mark Hamill, I just love randomly like watching series, kind of like how you're saying, like, wait a minute, he's that character.
Yeah.
Love just seeing that because like You'll be listening to a show, just randomly like chilling, and then it's just like you hear that one character from your past, and you're like, hold up, what? Like that happened with Loki. The first season of Loki, just chilling there watching it, and all I hear is Lightning McQueen. I'm like, hold up, wait a minute, that's not right.
I mean, for me, he's always going to be Joker.
Yeah.
Like, I love Star Wars. I love Luke Skywalker, and how much he fucking whines throughout all three films, you know. But for me, he is the Joker. Like him opposite Kevin Conroy was one of the best pairings of all time. And so yeah, go watch him in the Fall of the House of Usher because he's just as good in that
Yeah.
as well.
We
Yeah.
didn't explain what the Fall of House of Usher is. It's like a horror thriller, but it's very like it's so original, like just so fresh. Like I can't think of anything that is like that show. It's just so fucking good.
Every
And
episode is devoted to an Edgar Allan Poe short story.
yeah.
And if you can guess
Oh.
it, then you know your pose. If you don't, look it up because it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
All right, Micah, let's move on to you.
Okay, my third is actually a series that I've literally put off for like years, thinking, it's not. I always thought I wouldn't be interested in it. And that's Stranger Things. I'm actually like on season 4 now after starting it this. Well, actually, no, I started it like back in November. Kept watching it until end of December, until like season 3. Well, actually, no, until season 2, and then I just recently finished watching season 3. I believe I'm on like the 5th episode of season 4, and I'm like, wow, I regret like not watching this at first. And, like,
Yeah.
I have this weird relationship with Stranger Things. When I start watching it, I will absolutely love it. And then I'll get to like the second to last episode and be like, oh, I want to prolong this as long as possible. And then for some reason, I'll just stop watching.
that's
And
literally what happened to me.
months or even a year later, I'll finally pick it up and watch the final episode. And then be like, why did I finish watching this? And that's where I'm at on the current season. I still haven't finished it yet.
Yeah,
God,
I'm
really?
actually.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, season 3 is still my favorite, just because they literally pulled out giant monster made out of rats, like bloody rats and humans, and the Russians.
Technically, the second time D&D's been on this list, but not the last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that
Yeah.
show is heavily inspired by Dungeons and Dragons.
Which is cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. I can't believe you haven't finished it, so I won't spoil the show. But like the new seasons are gonna be really good.
I hope
and-
so, yeah, because I saw a little post on Instagram that was like, hey, guess who's coming back? It says Stranger Things 5 with the cast in the background. I was like, oh.
You better start watching and finish it up soon before you get spoiled then. Because yeah, dude, I'm actually surprised neither of you been spoiled, because that Stranger Things was like the hotness. It is the hotness. Like when the new season comes out, that's what everyone will be talking about.
Nancy.
Listen, I might have a video game addiction spurned on by Diablo and Divinity now, and also Suicide Squad and Overwatch. All 4 games I'm trying to juggle. So it's
I feel you. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, Stranger Things actually has one of my favorite character transitions
What
ever.
from what's
Steve
his-
Harrington.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love Steve.
from
Like,
being
he goes-
like the villain to being mom.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I'm like, oh, sorry. Go on, Micah. This is your spotlight.
I was just like, kind of like you were saying, like he goes from complete like jerk completely, and then he finds out about the whole monsters, and he's like, oh no, all scared, and then he goes full out like babysitter mother mode. on all the kids, and he's just like, yeah. And then like, I love how in season 4 there he actually fully embraced it. He's like talking to Nancy in this one scene, and he's like, "Are you seriously going to make me the babysitter again? They're old enough to not be watched." I was like,
Hey,
it's like, what?
no, I was just going to say, Illumination, if you're listening, that's what's called a character arc. You see, one character starts as something else, and then learns throughout the season that it's better to be a better person, and then becomes a better person.
Totally not Despicable Me 4.
I think the Minions have that. You know, when one of them becomes a
Oh!
king. So I don't know, man. I think they got an arc.
I'm not even talking about the goddamn Minions. I'm talking about Super Mario Brothers, the movie, which I also vehemently hate. If you listen to the podcast after it was released, I do not like Illumination. And
Okay, well, Peaches was a great song. Okay.
Yeah,
Peach?
but that's because Jack Black is just a fucking treasure.
Yeah, which I'm excited for Kung Fu Panda 4. Have you guys seen the trailer for that?
Yeah.
Like,
you know, it's kind of amazing, man. You only sent me that like a month ago, 2 months ago, a month.
Actually, I probably did. Yeah.
Yeah, and it feels like, dude, it feels like it's been 6 months. Don't ever have kids. I'm just kidding. I love my child.
Oh shit! You just reminded me. I did watch a different fucking cartoon this year. Okay, go on. I have something to add to the list.
Okay.
No, I think I mean, are you done, Micah?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. Man, this is tough. You know, honestly, I put my third movie that I thought like really, I don't know, that really like deserves to be on this list that kind of set itself apart. Was I really loved Smile, the horror movie. You watched it, right? Right, Crook?
Dear God, I love Smile.
Yeah.
I rewatched Smile the other day because I remember us talking about it during the Halloween episode, and I was like, I need to watch that again. And
Yeah.
it's just as fucking terrifying the second time you watch it as it is the first time.
Smile
You're
is
telling
good.
me I should just smile at you.
I mean, you're not gonna. You're like, I expect devious shit from you, so that's not. I call that a Tuesday, Micah.
I don't know, man. That's one of the few movies that my wife, like, she walked out of the theater before the end. Like 30 minutes before the end. She was like, I'm done. She's like, I don't think I'll be able to sleep tonight if I don't walk out. And you know, I don't know, I had some friends say, "Oh, I don't find it scary." And I'm like, that's just weird to me because man, that shit is just so ominous and creepy. And like honestly, I wonder to myself, like I could just be starting to go crazy or something, and that could like I could imagine that in my head, right? But yeah, I mean, without ruining it, it copies the It Follows kind of mentality. And by the way, It Follows 2 coming out this year.
What?
Gonna be pretty sick. Yeah, it Follows is supposedly releasing this year.
This is the year for movies. Deadpool
Yeah.
3, It Follows 2, Ghostbusters.
Kung Fu Panda 4.
Yeah, don't hold that to me or anything. But I think that's what I read.
Marking it in calendar.
You know what's funny?
Jordan.
Entire year. Yeah, just it could come out this year. But yeah, so that's my number 3. Do you have was there anything you want to say about that, Micah?
Well, I have like 2 things. One about it, and then also one about what Kenny just said. But the one thing about it, they literally turned. I haven't watched it yet, but I just know they literally turned one of the things like evil people do. Like, kind of like Kenny just said. He expects devious stuff from me. So it's like, devious people will give that ominous smile. Like, with my friends, they absolutely hate it, but I, like, give them a smile and say trust. And they've learned not to trust.
This is why when Micah comes down to visit Moab, or the town I live in, you know what, never mind. I usually just lock him in a closet for the next, like, 2 weeks, and as soon as it's up, I'm like, you experience the town, or I go home.
Basically, that happened. And also, I wasn't even an adult then, so it was like, I'm gonna call my lawyer. But also, like, speaking of what Kenny said about Ghostbusters, I'm actually excited for. I haven't even seen the new Ghostbusters Afterlife yet.
What?
I know. I'm kind of disappointed in myself. I haven't found it yet.
Listen.
Oh, was that the newest movie or what?
The newest movie, yeah, with Paul Rudd.
Oh yeah,
And
that
then
one was good.
Then I just recently found out the Stranger Things kid. Oh, what's his name?
Ben Wolfhard.
Dustin?
Mike. Yeah, Mike is in there. I was like, oh yeah. So
Yeah,
now I'm
Mike
like,
is in it. It's not Dustin. Never mind.
You should go
yeah,
watch
what
it.
Dustin was it? They should just combine Stranger Things with Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
I would like to see Dustin in it. Okay.
I do. I like Ghostbusters Afterlife, and I know we're not really going to be talking about it, but they do a great job of combining the old Ghostbusters with the new Ghostbusters while maintaining that feel of just the right amount of scary with a little bit of comedy. You know?
Heck yeah, OGT. But yeah, I do agree. Um, like I haven't seen it yet, but I have seen clips of where, spoiler alert, I know this is like a very older movie, but like all the older Ghostbusters except for the one that did die, sadly, rest in peace. All came back. Like I was like, you're joking, because like randomly, like throughout October, my family will just randomly put on Ghostbusters and we'll literally just watch it. Like,
Honestly, when I first saw it, I realized what it was. Like, Ghostbusters Afterlife is a way for the fellow Ghostbusters to say goodbye to their friend Harold Ramis in a movie and pay tribute
nah.
to him. Like that whole ending scene where Spangler shows up as a ghost, is a way of them effectively saying goodbye to their fellow Ghostbusters, like in real life, you know. And I kind of love that because it showed the camaraderie between the group. It showed that they still loved the franchise, and it showed that they still wanted to make Spangler a part of it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we did go off topic there, but
oh yeah, moving on to my number 2. The third time it showed up on this list in my surprise movie for the day. Listen, at the beginning of this year, or 2023, I went to the biggest town near me to have a movie day. I rented a fucking hotel, and I saw 3 movies in theaters. One of them I fucking absolutely hated. That's Super Mario Brothers. Uh, one of them I thought was pretty good for a film, and that was John Wick 4. And one of them clocked me out of fucking left field and made me go, "Oh shit, we need to pay attention to this film." Dungeons and Dragons did for D&D what Baldur's Gate did for D&D in gaming. It managed to capture the spirit of Dungeons and Dragons and incorporate it onto a fucking film that you could watch. Like everybody in that film clearly loved the shit that they were doing. Hugh Grant was charming as shit. Chris Pine was funny as hell. Everybody in that, the druid was a fucking amazing. Everything in that movie worked, and it captured the spirit of D&D, not in like a hey the heroes are gonna win because plot armor. It captured the spirit of D&D in the sense that like hey the heroes failed, but maybe if we try this completely off the wall fucking solution, we'll succeed. And that's what like D&D is about. It's like, okay, I just fucked up this fight. What if I uh make a magic fucking portal, stick it onto the bottom of a moving stagecoach while the rogue hides beneath a pile of leaves, and then break into the stagecoach through the portal to steal the goods. It's like that's how people think in the D&D games, and they managed to translate that onto the screen and make it work. This year is the year for Dungeons and Dragons, and I couldn't be more excited.
heck yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm
I didn't.
hoping, even though, because like I did read about this, it wasn't technically a box office success. I think it got a lot of people potentially talking about Dungeons and Dragons, and I saw it and I thought it was pretty good. So I hope they decide to make a second one. You know, maybe they just don't release it the same weekend as Mario. So
Yeah.
Yeah, the I was reading about their approach to the film, and they said like they're gonna approach it like I think it was Kevin Feige approached Iron Man. You know, he sat down the cast and crew of Iron Man, and he was like, guys, we're not here to make a franchise, even though it became one. We're not here to make Iron Man 2 and 3 and a bunch of sequels. We're here to make a damn good fucking film. Beginning,
And that's what it turned into.
a middle, and an end. And that's what Iron Man became. And the people that worked on that film worked on D&D, and they made the same principle on that film. We're going to make a damn good film. We're going to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And people are going to walk away happy that they watched it. So go watch Dungeons and Dragons. It needs all the support you can get, because now I kind of want a sequel.
Well, like,
yeah,
I entirely agree, because like me not being a D&D person, it's just like I actually do one day want to try the actual game and see what it's like. But like hearing from Kenny and AP, it's like, hey, we're big D&D people, and they're like, because I remember you going in expecting like, oh, okay, it's okay. I'm gonna go in thinking, got that mindset that it might not turn out good. But like, and then both of you came out after watching it, and then you're like, wow, that was amazing. And I was like, okay, one thing with Kenny is that's rare. Because like,
That's technically true, yeah.
no disrespect to that, but like, because I like that quality of you where it's like, hey, I didn't like this movie because it didn't fit with anything, but like, as soon as Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves came out, you went in thinking, yeah, okay. Came out, big smiled. I didn't see it, but I imagined it. Like, big smile, like, heck yeah.
Yeah, I was texting everyone. I was like, go see this fucking film. It just made my Saturday. No matter what happens past this point, I'm happy. And like, I chose that as my morning movie. And I was like, oh shit, that was a great way to start the day. Because it gets you laughing and puts you in a good mood. And it can only be topped by one other film on this list, which we'll get to.
Yeah, which, like, also another thing is, it's like, hey, like, you it's like kind of like how they did with Iron Man and like your movie. They looked at the fans and was like, okay, what would they want? And then it's like, hey, they'd want this. And we ended up getting the best actors for it and everything.
Yeah, Michelle Rodriguez, fucking Chris Pine, Hugh Grant. Like, Hugh Grant is just charming in every role he ever does. So it's like, it's perfect for me. I love it. He's like the British Paul Rudd. But we'll turn it over to Micah. Micah, what's number 2 for you?
Number 2 is going to have to be Loki, which I loved. Loki season 2. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but I enjoyed it. Like, it was a great end to and showing what it was like I love seeing all these clips around social media. Like, that's probably my favorite part is if once you watch it, you'll notice from the way back in the Avengers, Loki actually says he's burdened for a glorious purpose. And in this show, they put those words into it. Like, the last episode is called Glorious Purpose. And it literally shows where Loki goes, and I'm excited to see what's going forward. Because, like, that entire season was Loki wanting, like, for once he felt like he wasn't alone, but everybody else was like, okay, we gotta fix this. Then he realized that he might not be able to see these people again, so he tries fixing that, and then it's just like he hits the spot where it's like, this isn't going to end well for me anyways, so he says screw it, and then glorious purpose happened.
Honestly, Loki had one of the most potent like discussions I've seen in a Disney film or a Disney series for that matter, and that's when he was talking to Sylvie, and if I remember correctly, and she's like, you know, you need to think for yourself. You need to think like, what's going to save you? How are you going to get out of this? How are you going to get out of the TVA? And he's like, if you're, I'm paraphrasing here because I don't remember it word for word, but he's like, if you're thinking for yourself only, you know, you're not thinking like a god.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, they just completed Loki's like character arc. He went from being this I need to rule everyone because that's what they want to like what's for the greater good and how can I accomplish that? You
Yeah.
know, even if it means self-sacrifice at the end of it all. So, like what they did for Loki was they just took like a 10-year relationships we had with this character and brought it full circle and went, okay, he started off as an asshole and now we love him, you know, because we endeared to him throughout the years and we understood his side. And then the TVA kind of showed him his side, and then he became the best version of himself and actually became like the Loki of stories,
Well, like, or what?
which is the most powerful like version of Loki in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
If
Which
I am
also,
correct.
an interesting thing too is if you realize it, we got years of Loki just becoming good. Like throughout the years, him being mischief, building friendships with like, especially with Thor. We got all that throughout years, and then they pulled out the Loki series from right after um the first Avengers movie happened, where Loki was at his most villainous point in the like entire MCU. And then he literally just went to the TVA, like you said, and he just became the good guy after he realized what all happened. Which, like, we basically got to re-see Loki becoming good, but just a little bit faster in a more stronger way.
He rose above his circumstances and became what he was always meant to be.
Yeah.
You know, like and that show described that perfectly.
Exactly.
The only problem I have with that show is that I don't get to see what they do with Jonathan King. Because, like I said, the only person that took down Kang is Kang in real life, which is fucking either the most meta thing Disney has ever done or the biggest, like, screw up. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's kind of sad because Jonathan Majors played a fucking killer Kang. And he was the best part of Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah, they have just. I think they're deciding on a new Kang, and hopefully this one's like good. But I don't think they'll reach Jonathan Majors level. But I forgot who they were choosing for it. Let's see. Hold on, I'm gonna search that up real quick.
In the meantime,
Mm.
let's move on to Jordan's number 2.
Yeah. Sorry I didn't have much to say about that, guys. I'm just not. I'm so out of the loop on Marvel now. I just don't have enough time.
It's truly become like the comics industry where you have to like catch every little
Yeah.
like offshoot to understand it. And I hope like Deadpool 3 does something to bring it all together. Because I think if anybody can do that, it's Deadpool fucking with the multiverse.
Yeah.
No, I'm excited for Deadpool. But yeah, so my number 2 is I'm gonna give my number 2 to Last of Us. And the reason why I picked that is just because it wasn't quite perfect to me. I think it was a great show. It did not deliver fully on what I would have hoped, which is just more Joel and Ellie banter. But I feel like they did a really good job on setting up the universe for a cinematic Setting up the game universe for a cinematic showing. I'm really hoping that the next season is like in between game 1 and game 2. But I don't know. I felt like they did a really good job. Pedro Pascal ended up being a really great Joel, and the girl, what is her
Bella
name?
Ramsey.
Is it? Yeah, it is Bella Ramsey. It's funny. At first, I was like, that's not her name because Ramsey is a different guy in Game of Thrones. But I always call her Mormont because she's little Mormont from Game of Thrones. But
like one
yeah,
of the most like just straight up. Let's just go fucking kill everything.
yeah.
People in Game of Thrones. Like I loved her little girl in Game of Thrones because she was like, "Why are you guys being little bitches? Let's just go fucking
Yeah.
kill the shit and be done with it."
She's the most loyal kingdom in the north. So, yeah, she did a great job in Game of Thrones. But I just think it's hilarious because the actress they picked to play Abby in the second game for the second season. So I guess they aren't going to give us a ton of Joel and Ellie, sadly. But the actress they picked to play Abby looks like fucking Ellie in the game. So I was like, what great casting you guys did. But honestly, she did a great job. I'd rather pick the good actress than get someone who just looks like them, right? So,
Look,
but yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to get flack for this, but I'm always a contrarian anyway, so bring it on. But I'd say the best part of The Last of Us TV show was the Frank episode, where they rewrote that portion of the game, where it's less like you walk in and you find out that it's another dreary fucking life in a dreary world and everyone's gonna die, and instead it's a life filled with hope and love in a world that's like almost completely against it.
Okay. Here was my thing though. I personally, I love the episode too. I think they did a really good job. I love seeing what's Offerman? What's his first name?
Nick Offerman.
He did such a good fucking job, and the guy who played Frank did a good ass job too. But it was just funny. I saw a lot of memes about this. They're like, "Mom, Dad, this is my favorite game from my childhood. It's such a beautiful story." And you got episode 1 that like does, and then episode 2 about 2 gay guys and in the middle of nowhere. And so my dad was like, what the fuck is this? Like, you told me this is like a really good survival apocalypse show. And I'm like, it's good, I promise. Like, and I was like, I didn't, it's just funny. So there were a lot of memes about that. But honestly, I thought it was really great. I don't know. There were some points there where they did some world building that I didn't feel like needed to be done. Like, the city episode. I think they changed the city. I think it's like fucking Detroit or something, or it's like Kansas City in the game, and then they changed it to a different city. But like, we didn't need to know about those fucking people. Like,
it's Pittsburgh in the game, and they changed it to Kansas.
Pittsburgh, thank you.
For like no fucking reason whatsoever.
Yeah, like nobody gives a fuck about those people. Nobody gives a single fuck about any of those characters they introduced that entire episode. They didn't need to do that. They could have spent that money doing something else, but they were like, we want to try to pull heartstrings somehow. But nobody gave a single shit. I don't know. Do you have a different input on that? Like,
honestly, the entire Pittsburgh arc wasn't about the resistance that they had to get through. It was about the kid and his father.
Yeah.
And like how the kid got bit and the aftermath that Joel had to deal with because of it.
Yeah.
Like if they had just focused on that.
Yeah.
That would have been great.
And it was cool because they don't state it in the game that Ellie knows that he's infected.
Actually, wait, before I get hate mail, the kid and his brother. It's not his father.
Yeah, it is his older brother. I honestly, I get it mixed up too. So yeah, but yeah, and I love that they expanded upon it. That's what they did a good job on, was expanding. They did a good job at expanding. There was some things they didn't need to expand upon. I really wish I would have seen more Joel and Ellie banter, but that's okay. I could just play the game if I want more of that. So.
Oh yeah.
Right. That's what somebody would tell me. Look, Go fucking play the game then, Jordan.
We'll just
Um,
fucking knock it up to a harder mode
Yeah,
and play the
yeah.
game again.
Yeah, they should have had 5 episodes of Frank and Bill. Fuck you, Jordan.
It's just like a Friends sitcom. Frank just comes
Yeah.
busting through the door and everyone's laughing and like clapping. Yay!
To be totally real though, I think the Frank and Bill storyline would have actually been better as like a mini series that was offered after or something like that. But I don't know.
They could have definitely have like shortened it, you know, and still had made the same impact. Because the thing with the Last of Us game, like I've said time and time again throughout this podcast, is if a game is good and it doesn't waste your fucking time, it doesn't matter how long it is. You can have an
Yeah.
8-hour game that hits every point along the way. And The Last of Us manages to do that in like I think about 12 hours. And you still get the same impact from that game as you would. Actually, you get a better impact just because of the shortness of it. That moment in this is not the part where I cried that I'm going to talk about on this podcast, but I teared up at that part in the fucking cabin where Ellie is just like, Joel, everyone I have ever known and loved has left me. And Joel's just like, well, then go away. You know, I'm like, you fucking dickhead, Joel. And that's when I realized in the game that I had flipped from Joel's side to Ellie's side. Because I started it with like, fuck this little fucking 10-year-old girl who's annoying as shit. To like, at that point being like, Joel, why are you just going to be a douche and leave her in the fucking Wyoming wilderness? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Man, that first game, bro, just yeah, we could talk about Last of Us all day. I fucking, the hospital in the game is so much more meaningful. I remember just being like, there ain't no fucking way, I'm letting this happen. Like,
As
we're
soon
gonna
as
kill everyone in this fucking hospital. And I fucking, yeah, just great. But for the sake of time, we should probably move to the next.
All right. You guys want to know? Okay, you know what? I'm going to start this off by saying you have heard me talk about this movie before, and it's 2 movies. Okay, there is only one movie I saw this year that trumps every other movie I've seen. Technically, 2 movies. There's only 2 movies I've seen this year that has trumped every single movie I have seen. That is Paddington 1 and 2. Paddington 1, hear me out. If you are depressed, watch Paddington 1.
Yes.
If you reach that point in your life where there doesn't seem to be any like fucking meaning to go on, fuck everyone, fuck the world, fuck humanity, watch Paddington 2. Paddington 2 is a litmus test for whether or not you're a sociopath. If you can get from the storage container scene to the end credits without fucking crying your eyes out, you're a sociopath. Because that entire last part of the film is just such a fucking tearjerker. And it's such a great message. It's not some grandiose be something greater. It's not some fucking, bullshit, hey guys, everybody's great or whatever the fuck. It is just very simple. Be nice to people. That's it. That's all fucking Paddington 1 and 2 is about. And somehow Paddington 2 is better than Paddington 1, which fucking mind boggles me. Because I have never seen a film trump its first one so goddamn good. To the point where even like the villain somehow wins in the end and you're happy for it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Worth
There's
everything.
nothing we can argue about that. Yeah.
Nah.
Agreed.
Have you seen number 2, Jordan?
I actually haven't, but the first one is amazing. And I tried Marmalade just because of it.
You need to go watch number 2. Number 2 is like restores your faith in humanity. It literally
Will it make my wife cry?
Dude, your wife will fucking ball tears. You'll ball tears. You'll man cry. You'll be like, it's raining in here. as tears are streaming down your face.
You know what, Kenny? I want you from now on to always have a marmalade sandwich in your hat.
I really need to always have a marmalade sandwich in my hat. See, this is hashtag life tips that fucking Paddington gives you. And that's why it is #1 film I've seen this year. 1 and 2 were life changing. Go out and watch Paddington 2 because Paddington 2 is fucking legit. And if you hate yourself and the world, pop that shit on tonight and get back on track because life is worth living and Paddington 2 reminds you of.
Yeah.
I agree. I damn, you're #1 though. But it makes sense. It makes sense.
Go watch Paddington 2 and then we'll talk. Listen, I was telling Max and fucking Alex all about Paddington 2 and Paddington 1 and they're like, you stupid freaking CGI bear. Nobody cares about that. And then Max was having a bad day and I'm like, Max, did you watch Paddington yet? He's like, no. I'm like, go watch Paddington. 2 hours later, he's like, oh my shit, my day's so much better. And I'm like, good, save #2 for when you're having a worse day. And he's like, nah, I'm gonna go watch it now. And then he just went and watched it, and he was like, oh wow, I'm so fucking happy for no fucking reason whatsoever. Because it's happiness in a bottle. It is literally, you pop that shit on and it makes you happy. Unless you watch it 27 times over Christmas like my friend's dad did, in which case you might not like Paddington as much. But, you know, maybe once a year. 27 times because he has kids.
Okay.
All right.
Hmm.
That is my top 3.
My final movie, probably my favorite movie of this entire year, which, yeah, it's the Guardians of the Galaxy 3. That was a very huge tearjerker for me. Because, you got the end of the Guardians, but, it was just, there. Marvel, James Gunn literally, saw what Disney was doing to Marvel and was just like, I'm gonna do better. And then he dropped the F-bomb.
I love how, fucking James Gunn essentially took the gloves off for Guardians 3. He was just like, okay, I'm done playing. This is my last film. It's my last film with these guys in these roles. Let's just go fucking balls to the wall. And it shows. That movie is fucking great.
Each movie on its own is actually good, and that's what the Marvel universe is missing. Is that some of the movies are just ass, but they continue the story. But each of the movies, especially the third one on its own, good movies. You could just show it to somebody; they don't need to watch the first or the second, and they'd go, "Oh, this is a really good movie. I didn't need to know the other two to enjoy this movie." Same thing with the second. You could just not watch the first and the third and go, yeah, this is good shit. And man, dude, I already knew the sad portion from Rocket's backstory, and I was like, this shit's gonna fuck my wife up. And she was fucking bawling in the theater. I mean, there were other people too, and I had tears as well, because that shit's depressing, but very real. And I think the most depressing part is it's fairly real.
There's only been several movies that have actually made me cry, and it's always been the ending of a group of characters. I'm not gonna lie, I went on a school field trip and cried during Toy Story 4. When Buzz and
you crying.
Yeah, that was watching Buzz and Woody wave goodbye and sing
Don't ruin it. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, okay. Well, you guys.
Is that the one with the spork?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. I'll have to
That's
go watch
the main character. That he's on every poster.
Yeah, it's the meme of Woody dragging him behind him.
Or
go on.
Another movie that made me cry was Cars 3. Like watching Lightning
Child of the
McQueen.
Reckoning.
Have you guys seen it before I start spoiling something?
No, I haven't seen
You can
it.
spoil Cars for me.
Okay.
That and Wrapped in the Universe.
Okay. um yes, Lord Dorford, that's my specialty. But so like if you watch Cars 1, you'll realize Lightning McQueen goes from this like cocky dude that's just like haha, I'm better than everyone, haha. Then eventually he develops the friendships in Radiator Springs, and Cars 2 completely off the rails, but probably my favorite movie out of that section. Freaking Mater as a secret agent spy, a bunch of cars dying, like that's probably the biggest Disney movie that's had a lot of deaths. Well, Pixar movie. Cars 2 has so many
Are you
deaths.
pulling my leg right now?
No?
There's deaths in Car 3?
Cars goes hard?
Cars 2, sorry. Cars 2.
I haven't even seen Cars 2. Is that the one where they're spies?
Yeah.
What is it? Cars John Wick edition?
I liked how the first
Basically.
one, I've heard this meme before where it's like first one, it's about racing. Second one, it's about spies. Third one, it's about racing.
Basically. If you like Tow Mater, the second one's the one to watch. Because it's mostly about him. But like, literally, a character called Finn McMissile, who's literally based off of James Bond's car, literally blows up an oil tanker with a lot of cars on it.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Well, cars are objects. So they
how
can't
is
really
the
die.
most dangerous fucking film a Pixar film?
Like, so many cars die in that movie.
When
Like,
you say,
heck, what?
when you say Lightning McQueen, you mean the car from Rocket League? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, definitely. But like, it's mostly like also like the races go around the world, so it's just a bunch of terrorists freaking targeting the race cars to blow them all up. They even get to a point where they actually place a bomb on Mater, and Mater actually brings it straight to the Queen to figure out, like, bust this whole, like, operation. And the Queen's like, okay, I'll stay and watch this. Like, it's like, oh, great.
John Fortnite McQueen.
Yep. But, like, and then there's Cars 3, which is just Lightning McQueen, like, realizing that he's getting older, and then he gets to the point where he can't race that much anymore. So he's like, okay, I'll just teach this new person about it, and then, yeah. And then he gets like, oh, what?
That's basically my life, but with eating burgers. Like, I realize I can't eat as many burgers as I want anymore because I'm older.
Well, that's why you have a kid. You gotta teach her how to eat burgers.
Yes.
Yeah. Just be like, listen, listen, buddy. Okay, I'm passing my burger eating skills onto you. One day you will be champion burger eater.
Although I'm not gonna. Or what?
Oh, go ahead.
No, keep going. Sorry, it was like. Oh.
I was just gonna say something stupid, so now you get to hear the stupid thing I'm gonna say.
I want to hear the stupid.
No, I actually really wanted to join a burger eating competition. I don't. Is it too late for me to join a burger eating competition, Micah?
I don't want to end up killing you. No.
Man, look, just put on a hat that says music band. Okay, grab your skateboard and go there and be like, I'm ready for burgers. Feed me.
Hungry for burgers?
Hungry
you know
for
what?
burgers.
I'm gonna say what Lord of all Doorframes said, and say it's never too late, but I don't know though. So that means I can't be pinned on if you accidentally die.
Micah said, I've seen you on video now. I know your fat ass can't eat too many more burgers.
Listen, I'm gonna say what Crook Irish said. What the fuck does this have to do with Guardians of the Galaxy 3?
We're talking about cars, aren't we?
Yeah, I know. We like went way
right.
off topic.
Yeah. No, we should move on. I'm sorry. I was enjoying. I'll be short on mine. John Wick 4 was my top one. It was dope as fuck because guns and electronic music. Okay, we can move on.
I love how that advanced into cars and then burger eating contests. John Wick 4, I actually like how they left it open ended. Like he could return or he could not.
Well, and they have the show now, Continental. I need to watch that. So
I heard it's a show.
that's unfortunate.
I don't think you're gonna be able to beat Keanu Reeves. I've seen people
Yeah.
come in and be like, "Oh, this is the John Wick killer," and it's like, no, it's not. You know, you need the choreographers from the fucking Matrix to even get
Oh,
close.
did they not use the same choreographers from the movies?
No. Well, I mean, like, that movie with the dude from Better Call Saul, Mr. Nobody, where everybody's like, this is like John Wick. And it's like, no, it's not. You know, John Wick has style. That's the thing. It's like, when he kills somebody, it's stylish. I haven't seen the fucking, whatever it's called, the Constitution yet. What's it
The
called?
Continental.
The Continental yet. But
The Declaration of
Constitution.
Independence.
But I'd much rather just watch John Wick 1 through 4 because I just love it when he fucking murks everybody in his path.
Dude, when fucking Genesis comes on the stairwell scene, it just I almost bust a nut every fucking time. Like it's so fucking good. I just love it because I love violence. And I love like gun porn essentially, and I love electronic music. And so when you mix all those, dude, I just so fucking good.
I love it
Thank you.
when, like, the guy who's been trying to kill him the entire film comes down to the staircase and he's just like, John, we need to get you to the top of those stairs.
Yeah.
And, like, the two of them team up to just fucking kill everybody on the stairway. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, there's only a couple times in the John Wick films that are kind of a miss. Like the one time I'm like, this is kind of corny, is in the third movie when they're in the glass room fighting and the guys are like trying to kill John and they're like they basically don't kill him because they're like, we're such big fans. And then they fight again and he fucking kills both of them. I'm like, that's interesting. But
Come on, John. Yeah.
well,
You just knock him out.
well, I was just kind of like, okay, like I get it, like, but I was like, it's kind of corny, but I don't know. Yeah, John Wick, fucking great series. If you have anything to say about that, I don't really care. It's great.
I've only watched John Wick 1 and 2. I have to watch John Wick 3 and 4.
Dude, they're on Netflix, so
Yeah,
yeah,
eventually I'll get to it.
yeah. You're not getting my Prime until you watch Netflix, so until you watch John Wick 3.
I've been watching Netflix.
Take a bite of has been. Sorry, buddy.
Isn't John Wick 3 the one with the German Shepherds?
Yes.
That shit was so fucking badass. Where Halle Berry was just like, and like whistling, and the Shepherds were just taking everybody around them.
No, I think that's 4.
No, that's not 4.
It's not 4.
She might make an appearance in 4, but I'm pretty sure it was in 3.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I think you're right.
All right.
Just saying, since you've challenged me to watch John Wick 3 and John Wick 4 to get that Prime Video thing, I'm going to watch them both tonight. So if you get a message at like 3 o'clock in the morning from me, that means I finished it.
Okay. No, I'm gonna give you my Prime no matter what. But
Okay.
yeah, let's go ahead and carry on.
Because you challenged Micah to watch John Wick 3 and 4, I'm actually going to go out of my way to play Suicide Squad tonight because my Xbox is still in news.
Wow, how gracious of you!
Yeah, I'll do it for you guys.
Such a sacrifice. You're gonna be Boomerang Man with guns.
No, that's me.
That's the only thing I know about it. That people are like, "What the fuck? You're Captain Boomerang and you have guns?" Well, I'm sorry, I'll digress.
This is what I told you, Kenny. Nobody's gonna like Captain Boomerang because nobody knows him that well. Okay, I like characters that nobody knows that well and just says, you know what, I'm gonna take this guy and make him popular.
You know what? Some people don't know Harley Quinn. Okay, on
Everybody knows Harley Quinn.
that
Who's Harley
island,
Quinn?
that island in the Pacific without any interaction with other people, and that's still a primitive tribe. They don't know who Harley Quinn is.
You know what?
That's
I'm gonna
true.
take an entire drone fort and just draw a picture of Harley Quinn and just spell the word Harley Quinn over their island, and then they're all gonna know who Harley.
Doorframe just said, did y'all know there's a new Xbox coming out later this year?
Oh yeah, the Brooklyn, I think it's called, or like it's codenamed Brooklyn, but it looks like a giant Alexa.
It's a giant ball.
The
Alexa?
Sphero. Yeah, it really does. It kind of looks like an Alexa.
Like which? Like the ball? It's a ball?
No, it's like a cylinder.
Oh, okay. There's so many different types of Alexas out.
Lord of
so-
all door frames, you lied to me. You said it was a ball.
I mean, you could be ballin' if you buy NBA Jam. You know what? Never mind.
As long as they don't start switching the games over to that, like they did with the Xbox One to the XS, I'm
Nah.
happy. But if they're
They're
gonna
not
move
gonna
it,
do
to,
that.
yeah, if they're gonna be
No.
say, oh, these games are Alexa Plus, you have to buy this console to play it. I'm gonna be like, and just stick with PlayStation.
I said it was a cylinder. Lord of all door frames, you've lied.
Yeah.
Never said that.
Don't
No,
ever
you
come
did
back.
not. You said it was a ball.
Lord of
Um,
all door frames, you lied to Micah. Good
Yeah.
job. I support that.
What's the Kenny? What's your top animation for the year, buddy?
All right, the top 3. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and start with Castlevania on this one.
Yeah.
I finally finished the first Castlevania. I thought the art style was on point. I thought the fighting was fucking on point. When they fight Carmilla is one of my favorite fight scenes in animation. Just because of the way he does it, it's like how I would play a Necromancer in fucking Diablo. Where he just goes in, stabs, backs off, lets his monsters take over for a second, runs in, stabs, backs off. Fart scene.
Yeah, I really like that part scene too. Yeah, I think you watched a different version of Camilla, and that was probably on a weird site.
Yeah, it was like X videos, Carmilla's farts, and I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
like this Castlevania. Let me check
Yeah,
this out.
honestly, it probably exists. Lord of all doors is gonna find it and link it in Discord.
But you know what? I'd
Lance
say
Reddick was in it.
go watch. Yeah, well, Lance Reddick. Wait, is Lance Reddick really in it?
Yeah, he's the captain.
Oh shit!
Wow.
I love Lance Reddick. It's sad that we lost him this year as well, alongside Captain Holt. They're both they'll be missed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's all I really got to say about that.
Yeah, the new Castlevania. Are you talking about Nocturne or are you talking about the first one?
Both.
This is the 2017 one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought. Oh.
Well, Nocturne has the fart scenes. Castlevania 1 has the fight
Yeah.
scenes.
Wow. So wait, you had never seen the original ones?
I didn't finish it until just this summer.
What?
And then I quit off Netflix and I was like, "Baha, take that, Netflix." And then
Damn, dude.
my coworker was like, "Oh, you know Nocturne is coming in September." And I was like, "Fucking bitch." And then I had to go buy Netflix again, and now I still have it.
Oh, okay. So wait, so have you watched Nocturne?
No, not all of it.
We talked about Nocturne
Listen, okay.
on the podcast. We've talked.
I've got a busy schedule. All right, I
Wow.
have to play
Kenny,
Diablo
come on, man.
4 to get
yeah.
the stupid rune portal, and then I gotta play Suicide Squad to get whatever the fuck Harley Quinn's mini dress is, and then I gotta go play Divinity, which is like a 3,000-hour game, and then Overwatch.
Okay. It's okay. It's honestly, my opinion on Nocturne was that it was just a setup series for the rest of the show. The last episode of Nocturne is fucking balls to the walls. It's awesome. Like it made up for the rest of the show. So.
All right, I'll watch it, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah. No, we'll definitely be talking about it. Cool. All right, Micah.
Okay, this my number 3 is actually my very first actual anime I've ever watched, other than Pokemon and all that. But like, it's Ruby. I actually love this show, except for now I'm angry because they left it at a cliffhanger. So I'm a little bit pissed at that. But it was a really great show, and I actually really like the characters. So
Did you
plus
finish it?
yeah, I finished it.
Damn. All of it? Isn't it like
Yeah,
fucking long as shit?
it's only 4 seasons.
How many episodes though?
I think the first couple seasons have like maybe 20 episodes. I know the first season the
Wow.
episodes are like really short, but then eventually it starts to get like 20 minutes long. But
So that's your first anime after 2 years of being on a podcast with me? That's
yeah,
an anime I've never recommended is your first. Not JoJo's, not Attack on Titan, not Cyberpunk that I've been telling you guys is the fucking best and it's 7 episodes long.
Oh, I forgot about
Um,
Cyberpunk. I watched that
you,
this year too.
you know what's funny is I actually started watching League of Legends. So
Never mentioned that
Arcane.
either. So
No, I thought you did.
no, Kirby mentioned.
You know what else is a great anime that George has never mentioned? Try Dragon Ball Z and Naruto.
I have Crunchyroll now, so eventually I'll get there.
Y'all make me so
I
sad.
started. I
We've been
forgot.
on a podcast together for almost 2 years.
Go watch
Well, yeah.
Tenchi Muyo.
If you don't go watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventures now, I won't be back next month.
That's funny is I actually also started watching this anime. I gave up on it, but it was like this guy that like could easily just tame animal he could control animals, but then he ends up taming female animals.
Where's this going, Micah? Was this on Pornhub or was this on Crunchyroll?
Let me find this. Hold on.
Micah, I don't think that was anime. I think that was another genre called hentai, buddy.
It might have been. It's on Crunchyroll. Hold on. Beast Tamer.
Okay, I've given you a list of. Okay, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on.
Oh,
We're gonna. We're gonna. Okay. Well, no, but I'm glad you liked Ruby. A lot of people really like Ruby. I like one of the songs from the show. Like I found it in Beat Saber once, but like I don't know.
The funny thing is, I have been considering watching Chainsaw Man, so I just haven't gotten there yet.
Honestly, you can wait on Chainsaw Man until the next arc. Oh well, okay, I'm gonna talk about the next one. Sorry. Okay.
He's just gonna watch it now that you told him not to. He's gonna be like, "Oh, I want to watch Chainsaw Man."
Reverse psychology.
Like just 5 minutes ago, I had a bunch of people yelling at me to watch the Tangled series. Like
if you don't watch Cyberpunk by the next podcast,
isn't that on Netflix?
Fuck out. Yeah,
it's on Netflix.
Okay.
It's worth watching.
I'm gonna freak the fuck out.
You know what? Just despite that, I'm gonna watch it after the next podcast.
Like the day after, you just binge watch.
Just so you freak out.
I'm gonna freak out. I'm glad I'm glad you watched Ruby. So now you just have to watch JoJo's next. So I it's funny. There was nothing really new this year that like really stood out to me. Like Blue Eyed Samurai was okay, but it doesn't make it on my like top list. I don't know. And there were some other things I should have watched this year that I just didn't. Like Pluto's an honorary mention, supposedly is really good. But for me, all 3 of my picks are essentially seasons of shows that were already on. And that's just because I felt that they were the most impactful. They had the most going on, and the animation is just fucking awesome. My third, has got to be the has been like Jujutsu Kaisen season 2. Honestly, guys, man, this, I slept the fuck out of the show. When I first watched it, I was like, I don't really like this. That was like a couple years ago. And then I started watching the second, then I started to see all these memes about the second season. I was like, okay, I need to give this show another chance. And holy shit, it's amazing. I mean, it does a good job of having like a main character who's overpowered, but like balancing him out. And it's just got good style. It's basically about like cursed energy, and it's your normal shonen, but it's
Is
really
that the
good.
guy from Fortnite?
Yeah, he's in Fortnite.
Would you say it slaps and it's bussin'?
It's bussin' for real, no cap, and it slaps 100%.
Double Riz. That's
100%
Kenny would say.
slap ratio.
Okay, I might have to Netflix and chill with that.
Yeah.
With who? Come on, man.
But
it's watching a show. That's what it means.
Kirby, what's your number 2, buddy?
My number 2. Okay. I was about to replace this, but hear me out. I like Hell of a Boss because Millie is hot as shit, and she's also kind of fucking dope with her fighting skills. But I almost replaced it in favor of the thing that I'm about to talk about. However, I want to hear the drama. Spill the tea, Jordan. What's going on?
Oh no, about Has-Been Hotel. No, so a YouTuber named Burbalace paid some animator $50K to make a music video of basically his avatar being like sexually assaulted by Charlie from Has-Been Hotel.
Seriously?
So,
What the
yeah, go on. It's really it's not necessarily like, it's not sexual assault in the sense of like it's not obvious, but it's really weird. And $50,000, yeah, and a bunch of other stuff came out about it, but it's just so cringe. I remember when I saw it on Twitter, X, and I was just like, what? And there's no nudity in it or anything, which makes it kind of even more cringe that he paid $50,000 for it.
I like the
in a
fact
way.
that you just combined YouTuber, sexually assaulting video, Twitter, formerly known as X, and yet it has nothing to do with X.
Yeah, there's no sex in it, so.
Wait, so Fizzy Pop didn't do anything?
No, Bipsy Pops didn't do shit. It doesn't have anything to do with her. So yeah, Has-Been Hotel is pretty good. I watched the first episode just because it's not my cup. It's not really my cup of tea. But like, people are talking about it. I'll check it out.
I'm just in it for Charlie.
Good. I'm not a big musical person, and honestly, I thought the pilot had better. Go ahead. Oh, I thought I heard like feedback or something. But no, but wait, Kirby, this is about your number 2.
All right, so my number 2 would have been that simply because of fucking Billy. But I actually forgot I saw a much better animated film this year, and that was Puss in Boots.
Yeah.
Puss in
Mm-hmm.
Boots 2 was on another level. Like that was that put DreamWorks back in the spotlight. And I know that Mike is going to disagree with this by saying that Dream has always been in the spotlight. But
no, I don't disagree with that because, not gonna lie, don't like the Dragon Knight series that they recently made. Like, Jack Black is a great actor with Poe. It's just the Dragon Knight series animation was not. I don't like that.
Yeah.
So, kind of dragged them down a bit.
And I think Puss in Boots was so weirdly offbeat. It's almost like, to me, DreamWorks like took this aside and went, "Hey guys, what if just like for once we make a good film?" You know, it was like, you remember back in the day when we made Shrek 2 and made everybody fall in love with "I Need a Hero" with like one scene. Let's kind of do that for an entire fucking film. Just once. I know it's been 10 years, Well, let's make one good film. And then they made Puss in Boots too, which somehow manages to straddle that line between being a kids film because it's Puss in Boots, and it's a lot of fun, and being one that like resonates with adults because Puss is on his last life, and you're like, oh shit, I understand. Like I get what he's going through. Like that
Yeah.
whole mentality of just like, oh fuck, I could die at any moment, you know? And then coupling that with a genuinely terrifying villain who isn't something you can just rise above with the power of fucking friendship, but one that can like kill Puss in Boots and legitimately kill him. And the only way Puss managed to beat him was to understand that life was worth fighting for.
The whistle still gives me, like, still has the hairs pop up on my neck.
Oh my
Phew.
god, I love that wolf. He was so
Yeah.
fucking badass.
Based. Yeah, like, dude, fucking, he's so cool. And the coolest part about it is he was probably the most menacing character in that whole thing, but he was not the villain, right? Like, he was not the villain the
He
whole
wasn't
time.
even a bad guy. He was just like, look, Poos, this is what
kinda-
I do for a living. What?
kind of deaf. Yeah, he's kind of the bad guy in a way, but
I wouldn't say so because Poos was just like, I'm gonna fight you, and he's just like, you're not fighting hard enough.
yeah.
This is my job. You think you're the first swordsman to come at me and be like, I can take you out? It's like, no, you're a Tuesday to this guy. Like,
Yeah.
Death was genuinely like scary in that, and it was so fucking good that the rest of the film could have been shitty, and Death could have been good, and it still would have been a good film.
Well, like, also, Death could have easily just wiped out Puss in Boots. He just toyed with him, like, as, in my opinion, Death in most things should. Just toys with people and messes with their brain to the point where what he did with Puss in Boots was like, hey, I'm going to make you see all your past lives. Say, screw it. Well, actually, no, he didn't make him see the past lives, but he just, like, shattered every single part of his past lives. It was like, hey, be afraid, and Puss in Boots is like his whole mindset went into scaredy cat mode, and he forgot everything that recently just happened. He was like, I gotta make that wish.
Yeah.
Like,
and I love how it came down to not being like, in the end, it wasn't just, let's give the wish to the lovable losers. It was everybody came to the realization that they had the wish that they already had. They just weren't paying attention to it, which is pretty much a potent fucking acknowledgement of reality right now. Like, we all have what we want. It's not that difficult. The majority of us aren't, striving for a roof over our head or food on the table. We have ways to eat and live and survive. And yet we want more and more and more and more, thinking that that's going to make us happy when we're just neglecting the things that are around us that should.
That's pretty deep, man.
Yeah. That's
yeah,
Puss some Boots too. I was surprised.
I feel like DreamWorks is gonna do really well. Because, like, especially now, because if you are a big fan of How to Train Your Dragon, like me, I'm a very big fan. DreamWorks actually plans on making a live action How to Train Your Dragon. And I know it might sound bad, like, oh, hey, they're doing what Disney did. They're not exactly doing what Disney did. They actually asked the creator of the entire story of How to Train Your Dragon to help direct this movie. Like, the one who made How to Train Your Dragon. I'm like, okay, cool. And so far, and they actually, like, I don't know, have you guys seen it? How to Train Your Dragon?
No.
I have. Yeah.
Okay.
Really
They're
good.
actually bringing back the voice of Stoic as Stoic.
That's good. It's funny though with things like that, because I'm like, why not just put that money into making another film?
Well, like, with How to Train Your Dragon, they ended it, like, pretty
They
well.
did end it. Yeah, you're right.
Until they tried to continue the story with the whole futuristic type thing.
But I mean,
Yeah.
live action can be good when done right. Like Ahsoka did it right because they got that actress to play Sabine who has a fat ass. And when she's like leaning over the carriage and shooting at the stormtroopers, you're like, this is why I watch this show. And then of course, like the chick that played Rosie, fucking what's her name? The Ahsoka live actress. I kind of picture her now when I
Sabine?
think of Ahsoka.
Oh. Oh,
Rosie.
okay.
It's funny to me when you mention Sabine because like my only way of digesting what are they called? The Rebels? The whole Rebel story was through manga, so like I don't know. But yeah.
Although,
Rosario Dawson. But yeah.
yeah. So I'm excited. I'm kind of excited for live action. I mean, yeah, live action is like slightly disappointing sometimes, but the fact that they have the person who actually made and directed the original animation films, that kind of makes me excited about it. But back to Puss in Boots. Speaking of death, like how he's like one of the great villains. If you want a really good DreamWorks villains, watch Troll Hunters. There's a character called Omar who literally is just a ruthless demon to the point where he's a giant troll that like he actually forces the main character who's human to become troll to fight him, and he could even still defeat this guy even troll going troll. It was like, wow, it's a great series. Like you'll randomly hear me saying, "By the glory of Merlin, daylight is mine to command." That is from that series.
I actually just like that's how I wake up each morning. I scream like that into the house. What's your number 2, Micah?
My number 2 is got to be What If Season 2. It recently just came out in December. I actually really enjoyed it. Just as good as um, Season 1. I got, like, I don't know if you guys have seen it or if you care. Do you care for spoilers for this?
Yes.
Okay, then never mind. I'm not
But
gonna say
look,
anything.
I will take my headset off. You go ahead and talk about it.
What about you, Jordan? Jordan?
Hmm.
He's debating.
Jordan, just
Maybe,
thumbs up when it's
maybe just a little spoiler. Maybe pick one thing.
The one thing I was going to go for is too much of a big spoiler. So, but yeah, no, I'm not going to say anything.
Okay.
I mean,
it's good though.
Yeah, just give him a thumbs up. I'm not going to say anything fully about it, but it's really good.
Okay, I'm back.
So yeah, I just enjoy it. I'm not going to spoil anything because I definitely do suggest watching it.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's only been
Especially
out for like a month, right?
yeah, and especially since they already released like pictures of the new season 3 already. So definitely catch up on it. Like, see the main pictures of season 3 actually shows Sam Wilson as Captain America with Bucky. There's gonna be a team up between Bucky and the Red Guardian, and then there's going to be like those giant anime mech type things for the Avengers. Forgot what they are.
You got me interested.
Yeah, it's like what are they called?
The
They're like
Sentinels?
no, they like have a Y. The Young Gungan things. They're like giant mechs.
Gundams?
Young Guns?
I believe so.
With
But
Emilio
like,
Estevez?
what?
And
I
Charlie
have
Why
no
do they
idea.
have Gundams? Gundams in season 2. What if?
No, it's in season 3. There's been released pictures of season 3. So I definitely like that's kind of what they look like to me. I've seen pictures of them, but like if season 3,
Season 3 Sentinels.
Oh. No, I can't find it. Oh well.
I don't know. Let's
Is
see if
it
I
the
can.
Wampum Gungam style?
No.
It is Wampum Gangnam Style.
Where is it?
Oh shit! I see it. Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
that's so fucking funny.
Like, I was like, whoa, that's gonna be
It's
interesting.
not a spoiler. I'm gonna post it into
Well, that's yeah, it's not a spoiler because it's just for season 3. That's one of the released pictures for it.
I'm gonna post it in anime if anyone wants to see it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's pretty cool though. That is 100% in style, like inspired by Gundam. So
Yeah.
always neat. What did I pick? For my number 2, I am honestly, I'm gonna just put Demon Slayer there, the Swordsmith arc. I mean, it started out kind of bad because they released the whole movie thing where they're like, oh, we're doing a movie, and everyone thought it was gonna be like the Mugen Train, where it was like basically like 6 episodes put together, and then it ended up just being like 3 episodes from the previous season and then 1 new episode, and people were pissed. I read about it, so I knew I was like, I'm gonna go into this. I'm gonna watch some of the old stuff on the big screen, but people were pissed. But it ended up being a really fucking great arc, and Demon Slayer is just so good. People hate on it. It's fucking it's predictable or whatever, but I don't know. It's a solid show. It's very well animated, and the manga is really good too. What are you
Well, the
giggling
funny
about?
I just saw the picture of Chad with Micah standing there after wasting my ultimate.
Yeah.
And Overwatch.
Just now saw that?
I'm sorry, I'm trying to see your Gundam picture, and that's the first thing that popped up, and I
Oh,
totally, yeah, I totally see that. But go
Also, I just now remembered, Jordan. Ruby wasn't my first anime. Demon Slayer season 1 was.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
actually watched season 1 of Demon Slayer on Netflix. I think I had the option to watch season 2, but I never fully went through with it because school got in the way, and I believe What If season 1
I won't
came
take
out
that as
around
an
that time I was
excuse
watching it.
because
So,
I know you watch TV in school, so
yeah.
um,
Well, like,
I
what I
just
mean is, like,
As
What If
any student
season
should.
1... I believe when I started watching it, What If season 1 actually came out.
yeah.
So I kind of just drifted into that because what I just tell a lot of people is that some shows have more priority over other shows. Like if What If came out, like Loki, everything shut down for me. What If season 2, I actually just went into that. Like Ninjago, if something comes out for that, everything's going on pause. I don't care what it is. I'm watching that. It's like most series have more priority over others. You get what I mean?
No, I understand that.
Yeah. So
How fucking dare you? No, I'm kidding. Yeah. Nah, I understand.
because
Still haven't watched
eventually
Cyberpunk though.
I'll watch Cyberpunk
7
eventually.
episodes. Depression.
I
I'm
might
sorry,
finish watching League of Legends and then go to Cyberpunk.
I
'cause-
ruined your description of Demon Slayer Swordsmith. I apologize, Jordan.
What was your description of it?
No, I was just like, I started laughing in the middle of it.
Oh no, you're good. I was
Quality
wasn't hurt.
podcast content, guys.
What if we just came on here and read and then left? Then I don't think anyone would want to fucking watch that. So, like, I thought about doing like a. You know what? We're not gonna talk about this right now. Okay, we're gonna go
No.
to your number 1, Kenny.
I actually love our format as a podcast, just how free flowing it is. Oh, it like weaves in and out of the topics, then we end up talking about burger eating competition.
Yeah.
You know,
I've also wanted to be in a silver dollar pancake eating competition.
that
laugh
sounds
at my
really
dream.
good. No,
They laugh at my dream.
I
Like,
support your dream.
I
I'll eat burger.
tell them what I look forward to, and they laugh. They fucking cackle. You hear them? cackling in my fucking ears. Jordan, you can never be a silver dollar eating pancake champion.
No, if there was a Dr. Pepper competition, I think I'd win.
Bro,
That's it, guys.
you're fucked.
If
I
you
would
guys want
be-
to see the Stone Gauntlet have a burger / pancake / Dr. Pepper eat competition, just fund the money for all of us to meet up in wherever the fuck the Silver Diner is, and we'll do it.
Yo, I'm
Well,
being
the funny
serious.
thing-
Mike, next podcast, you want to see you can drink 12 Dr. Peppers faster?
That's
Sure, I mean,
actually
right
might be kind
now,
of fun.
I'm on my 5th Dr. Pepper, so be warned.
Next podcast, we're gonna see you can chug 12 Dr. Peppers the fastest.
You got 2.5
Okay,
hours to do it.
So, so here's the funny thing is, I no joke have next to me, I have a counter, and right now there's 5 cans of Dr. Pepper from this one podcast, and I'm literally trying to find which one I just opened. It's how bad it is. It's a
Dude,
mystery.
Dr. Pepper's the best.
Listen,
I
ground
agree.
rules. You guys are gonna have to finish them.
Okay.
Oh, I'll finish. I'll
I
put
will
them all in
literally
my
turn on my camera. I will like physically clean my room just to
You don't
like-
have to. You don't have to clean your room. Look at mine.
You know, I'll be the judge. I'll watch
Okay.
you guys and mark
Yeah.
it.
Okay,
we're-
what size Dr. Pepper is the
12
question?
ounce cans.
12 ounce can. Is that like the normal size can?
Yeah, the normal size cans.
Okay.
That's typically what 12 ounces means.
Okay, well, you know what? I don't know my ounces. It could be 20 ounces.
Thanks, Bill Nye, the science guy. So coming in at episode or number 1 in my anime,
Which he stole from me.
I
Just
actually-
animation.
I technically stole this from Micah. But that's because I, unlike Micah, did not try to watch half-assed anime throughout the year in an attempt to make Jordan happy at the end of it. I just watched no anime throughout the year and told everybody about it right at the beginning.
I never said review was half-assed. But
See,
go ahead.
I-
Carry on.
I achieved better than Kenny, okay?
So I had to choose 3 shows, and number 1 for me is definitely Across the Spider-Verse. The only complaint I have about this movie, realistically, a lot of it, you know, there are some niggling complaints, but other than that, it's just whatever. The only real complaint I have about Across the Spider-Verse is it just fucking ends. It's
Yeah.
like you're right there, and all of a sudden, you know, fucking what's his face shows up. Micah, you know the name of the Spider-Man villain,
Spot.
not Spot.
Oh, the
one that
Prowler.
yeah, the Prowler shows up.
Morales.
You find out that it's Miles as the Prowler, who just captured Miles, and then it just ends. I feel like I watched half a movie, and I'm like, where the fuck is the other
basically
half?
Did. That's what
you
irritates me.
Bro, dude, that ending was so fucking cash money. I loved it.
Like, you know what? They could have taken 2
Like-
more years to make the second part, and I would literally watch a 6-hour movie of just that. That's
Yeah.
how good it was. I swear.
but
you
go
don't
ahead,
leave me on
go
a
ahead.
cliffhanger.
Go ahead, Kenny.
No,
I
I
mean-
mean, Mike is right. That 2.5 hours flew right by. I didn't feel like I was like, oh god, this movie's still going. And this is after we watched Indiana Jones. So, like, I was on the edge of my seat, like, holy shit. And then it just done. It's like, come on back whenever we decide to pay our animators more. Bye.
Yeah. I'm glad they chopped it up into 2 movies because I felt like there was no waste in that movie. Like I went back and rewatched it and I was just, like I actually went to the theaters twice and watched it and like there's no waste in that movie. It's
or what?
yeah, it all needs to be there. Like there's no like it doesn't seem like they wasted anything to try to stretch it out into 2 movies or anything like that.
I also love the punk rock Spider-Man. Like how everybody in the entire fucking Spider-Verse is against Miles, and they're like, yeah, this dude that just showed up from the future is right because he said so. And the punk rock Spider-Man essentially shows up and he's just like, dude, fuck the system. Here's how you get out of it. And like right there, that guy that seemed like he could have been a douche the entire film became like the accidental hero of it. And
Yeah.
then he was just like, all right, peace, and bounced. You know, I'm like, this fucking guy rocks. I want to see more of him.
Well, and
The funny
also,
thing,
oh, go ahead.
the funny thing is, supposedly for the next Spider Verse part, the second part, we're actually going to see more of Spider Punk's world.
Yep.
So
Good.
like that should be interesting. So
Because he
Yeah.
fucking nailed that scene where he's just like, you know what, fuck these guys. Here's how you break out of this cage. I'm like, dude, one guy in this entire thing is talking fucking sense that isn't Miles or, you know, Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, yeah, definitely. When I saw it on your number one, I was like, yep. So
Yeah, I had to talk about it. I mean,
yeah,
it's the best
I
animated movie. Like, and also, I don't. This is like the Mona Lisa of animated movies this year. You know, the same vein that the fucking you know, fucking Paddington 2 is Beethoven's the Third. Across the Spider Verse is the Mona Lisa.
Spider-Verse.
Spider
well, like
Verse.
also how deep they went into the animation. Like there's several different worlds. My favorite part about their whole picking the animation is a kid who literally just made the trailer out of Lego. They
Yeah.
no joke just walked up to him and was just like even if it was like close to ending the release of the movie, they were just like, you know what? No, we need this guy. They walked up to this 15-year-old kid and was just like, hey, can you animate a Lego scene for us? And then we got the Lego scene. And I was just like once I found that out, I was like, that's awesome. Because like
Yeah.
I follow this kid on YouTube because his animation is dope.
And there's so many fucking call outs. It's like you can't pause the fucking movie in the middle of the theater, but I kind of wish I could have.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a good job. You know, they just attention to detail. It's, you know, it's a good film on its own, right? You know, that's what it all comes back to.
Oh, and I gotta give fucking props something, but I forgot. So anyway, go see that film.
Yeah. Also, there is like, especially Spider Punk, people have actually like noticed looking closer. You know how he steals all the like mechanical parts from near Miguel's workshop, and Miles is like, "What are you doing, man? Stop it!"
Yeah, he built
Yeah.
another responder or whatever.
Yeah, but like if you look closely while they're walking through like all the spider people, there's actually one little scene where he actually takes something from one of the Spider-Man and just shoves it into his pocket. Like the smallest little details somebody noticed it. And I was like, wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was it. This is kind of a part that people hated, but at the same time they missed the entire point of it. Is like the fact that the home release is different than the theater release is fucking meta. And the reason is because when Miles Morales, quote unquote, was in the theaters, his decisions reverberated throughout all the Spider Verses. And that's why our release in homes is different because he changed our reality. And that's essentially what they're trying to say.
Uh,
Which is
what?
yeah. There's like certain scenes in the home version that's like different than the theater version. And everybody got angry because they're like, Gwen Stacy didn't do this in the theaters, or she did this differently. And it's like, you're missing the point. At the end of the film, Miles rejects Miguel and creates an anomaly in the entirety of reality, in the fabric of reality. And it feels like the fucking filmmakers are trying to make that a that point by making the home release different. By saying Miles' actions in the theaters caused your home release to be slightly different than what you expected.
That's pretty
and
cool.
two, the theaters literally were the animators were like screw it and literally released 2 versions of the movie in theaters.
Yeah. Which is like that's meta on top of being meta. Just giving
If
out
you haven't
spoilers.
seen, Across the Spider-Verse came out like early 2023, so
Yeah, we saw it during the summer. I remember we were on a road trip across the U.S. Well,
Yeah,
Utah to Montana.
yeah. Then we went to wherever that place was, but you wanted to see Indiana Jones and Spider-Verse with me. So like, yeah,
Yeah.
free movies.
And Indiana Jones kicked ass and Spider-Verse kicked ass. And it was a fun day.
Yep.
all right, cool. Micah, what's your number 1, man?
My number 1 for series has to be Sonic Prime. Not gonna lie. I know I've probably like talked about this a lot through like the past couple of podcasts, but like this was probably the most series that actually impressed me the most because like I saw it, I was like, cool, new Sonic. He's cocky, he's cool. Then eventually, like first season, developed his whole like character thing. We got to see Shadow like once in the first season. Then eventually it's like Sonic was from Shadow, and then season 2 came and like, cause like, and it's like Sonic's life just got 2 times harder, and he comes to realize like, oh shoot, we might not be able to do this. This might not end well, and all that. Like his whole personality, like there's times where he goes to the point where he's about to give up. That's like to the point where like, and Sonic rarely gives up in like this series. I'm like, wow, they did well. So I mean, another series I definitely suggest watching.
Yeah, I'm happy that they I'm happy they're still doing Sonic. Because Sonic was like one of the first video games I ever played.
Dude, the old
So,
school Sonic slaps. Like 1
yeah,
through 3.
yeah,
Sonic and Knuckles. Hell yeah. I'd still play
yeah.
that to this day. It's like
Dude,
on par with Mario.
Dude, I remember the levels that I remember most vividly were the ones where the sand would fill up the level.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. And that was like game changing, just like mechanics, bro. Like I'm sure people at the time were like, "This is the fucking cutting edge." Like,
And then you'd get like fucking trapped. And it's like, and
um,
you're still seeing the sand rise, and you're like, well, I guess I'm just gonna fucking die, and watch Sonic die because there's not fuck else I can do.
yeah, just get crushed by sand. And I mean, Sonic Adventure Battle 2, man. I know I've mentioned that on here before, and I still owe Micah money so he can buy it.
I
But
might
man,
have,
did you buy it?
maybe, I don't remember.
Yeah, you would know because you'd have been addicted after the first scene where he's riding a snowboard down a like street in New York City, or it might be in California, but it's
I
amazing.
might actually have that because I do remember playing that. I just haven't played it in a bit.
Dude, you need it. Oh my god, Sonic Adventure Battle 2 is amazing.
And then when you're done with that, since you're watching Beastmaster Wars or whatever the hell,
No, I gave up on that show.
go watch
I
Sonic
could not
2006, where Sonic has interspecies love with the girl.
Oh, okay.
What?
You don't remember 2006 Sonic? Where they
No.
where they revealed Silver the Hedgehog and him and like a chick fall in love.
Really?
It's actually kind of benign by today's standards. I mean, you fuck a bear in Baldur's Gate 3, but yeah.
Sonic X?
No, it's just Sonic 2006.
Also,
Wow.
I feel like the reason why I'm mainly suggesting you guys is because like the multiverse like whole thing with the Sonic thing is cool. I feel like Jordan, you like more of the Egg City type multiverse. Don't exactly know. 'Cause it just seems more like a techie type cool world. Kenny, on the other hand, the pirate. I feel like you would like Dredd. Dredd was a cool character.
Yeah, I
Judge
love
Dredd?
pirate realm. I would
Yeah,
just,
Dredd is Knuckles as a pirate captain. At first, he seems like he's the dinky old like character that's like this complete scary pirate. But like once Sonic's like, "Oh yeah, cool, we just got to go get the treasure that you failed to get," and then they get it. He like his whole personality goes from, "I will kill everybody for this treasure." Like he full out tricks his entire crew into thinking Sonic was the bad guy for leaving him, just so he could have his treasure. It was like,
cool.
wow.
I do like pirate
Like-
realm.
Yeah. Like
Like-
the characters were cool with it.
In fact, the
It's so
drama
interesting.
What?
No, I got chewed out by a drama teacher for dressing like a pirate in high school. And I'm just like, you're the fucking drama teacher. But yeah.
That's probably changed the timeline that they did that to you.
So what? Oh, because I could have ended up being a pirate, what I've always wanted
Yeah,
to be in life.
dude, you're probably Crookbeard.
And Crookbeard. One day.
Yeah.
Maybe
Old-
in my next life I'll be Crookbeard.
You know what?
Go ahead.
It'll make you happy, Kenny. I like that name. Crookbeard.
I do too.
I'm gonna make you a complete drunk pirate in my book. How about that?
Crookbeard the Gold.
That works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down.
And then you'll be a pirate in my book because it's basically mostly about pirates and
Then-
knights.
I'll be like, yeah, mom and dad said I couldn't be a real life pirate. Well, I'm a pirate in Micah's book.
Now I'm in Somalia raiding
You can be a proud uncle. You can be a proud uncle for me adding you to my book as a Crookbeard the
Hey.
Gold.
Hey, let's
Which means-
put labels on me like proud, okay? So
I said proud
Travel.
for once in your life, okay?
what's your next? What's your first one?
Attack on Titan ended this year. Fucking just perfection. And what's really cool about it is this whole time you can actually, a lot of people have done this. Now that the show has ended, you can actually rewatch it and see a lot of like one of the main plot points at the end. And you can essentially, a long story short, there's some time travel involved. Via like heritage bloodline, and you can literally see things happening in the earlier seasons that happens, like that they talk about like at the end of the show. It's really fucking cool. I won't spoil anything because honestly you need to watch it for yourself, and also it'd be kind of hard to spoil without any context. So yeah, just Attack on Titan is just amazing. In general, this next year is already been a really good year for animation. So I'm excited for the next podcast to drop some goodies for y'all. But
Drop some
yeah,
stank booty, as they say.
yeah, stank booty. That's what the kids say nowadays. They like that stank booty.
Stinker, booter.
But yeah, sorry that was a little lackluster, but I don't know. It's been a good year in animation, but at the same time, there hasn't been anything yet that I was just like, what the fuck? This is life changing, right? So hopefully 2024 will deliver some of that.
I think it might because of how well it's going right now.
Chainsaw Man's next movie might do that to me, but I'm very excited.
They have the Suicide Squad anime dropping this, right?
They have the the isekai. It looks really good. It's actually looking really good. So
Yeah, that one I might actually watch. That one you can count on me watch. So I'm actually excited to see that Harley Quinn.
yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm excited. Well, cool. Well, that's the podcast, boys.
It is.
We did it.
3 hours.
3 hours.
Jesus Christ.
A little under. Yeah, that was a little long.
I mean,
We
Yeah,
talked
5
about
minutes under.
burgers there for a while, and Cars 3, even though it wasn't on the list.
Honestly, I expect these ones to be longer than the typical episode. And our typical episodes tend to run somewhere in the 2.5 hour range. Yeah.
Well, I always love ours because ours just get like to the point where like kind of like the burger and the cars thing. We go so off topic and then it's just like funny. It's to the point where like kind of like the TVA timeline. It branches out to other things and then like it gets like super funny. Then we just put down one of those time things and the whole line retracts back to the main line and just keeps going.
I actually
Yeah.
love the Stone Gauntlet because its vibe is far different than Crook and Murders. Like, Crook and Murders is fast paced, stick on the topic. We talk about the monster, but we'll branch
Yeah.
off and joke a bit. The Stone Gauntlet is far more discussion. Like, we have talking points, but we don't really necessarily need to stick to the script. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which actually works really well in our favor. It creates a much different vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I like talking with you guys.
Oh,
Great
yeah.
podcast, guys.
I do too.
Is there any call outs for this podcast? Anyone we're honoring?
Yes, I'm going to honor everybody who talked today. First of all, honors to my two co-hosts, Rabble Stream, that is RABBL3 Stream, that is Rabble. Go follow his Twitch channel. As
Someday
well,
I'll stream again.
Spider Dude 200, SPIDERDUD 200. That is Spider Dude's Twitch channel. Go follow him as well. Also, a shout out to everybody who interacted today. That is Goatsmore, GOATSMORE, as well as Oniram, ONIRAM93, OGT Nasty, that is OGTNASTY, and let's see, Soggy Bees Knees, SOGGY BEESKNEES. And finally, I hope you guys are pausing this and looking up these channels. Lord of Old Door Frames, LORDOFALLDOORFRAMES. Guys, go to their Twitch channels and follow them. Some of them are streamers, some of them are not, but they all deserve to be followed. Because the ones that are streamers are fucking amazing, and the
Yeah.
ones that are not may one day stream.
Also,
Yeah,
just saying it. Or sorry, you can go, Jordan.
No, I was just gonna say Oniram streams a good amount, so
Yeah.
definitely check out Oniram.
Oh yeah, Oniram will give you straight Overwatch tips. If you want to learn how to play Overwatch, watch his stream. You could
Yeah.
even choose a hero for him to play. That's one of his redemptions, and actually learn how to play that hero because Oniram's actually pretty fucking good at the game.
Yeah.
Hey, don't we owe somebody a
That would
topic?
be Lord of Dull Door Frames.
Oh,
What are
we
we gonna
do.
talk about? Door frames? I think you need to pick for us, brother. So you'll have
So
to
Yeah.
think of something.
he's also our Ana main in Overwatch, the world's greatest Ana. So Lord of Old Door Frames, think of a topic for us to discuss, and we will discuss it for you.
I think I think we should like sometime. I might try to stream the Overwatch sessions just because I think that'd be fun, and then everybody can get to know Lord of all Door Frames more.
Yeah,
Because
I'm down for that.
just because like everybody knows him as the Talker or the Lord of Dull Doors in the
All
chat
doors.
normally, and like when you say like he's normally our anime, and it's like really
Yeah.
we didn't know that, so it's
See,
like
they don't know. They know him as the Lord of All Doors. They don't know him as his more
that's
sensitive
salty
side
team.
of Ana, who heals the team, and then screws over Micah. Or
Yeah,
Micah screws over him.
especially with you're all powered up. And I just sit there confused as Reinhardt, like, there's nobody around. What do you mean?
Actually, let me rephrase that. Micah screws over him. Because he'll be back there being Anna, and Micah will be up front being a raging baboon, even though he's not playing the monkey.
A raging baboon.
Okay, well, it's not my fault. He misses his shots. Okay, he's like a stormtrooper sometimes. Like I swear, like there was one time. It was actually a very recent game that we played. I was like, "Hey, Nick," I was like, "Hey, Dora, you should heal me." And I swear he missed every single shot as I just stood there
Micah,
as Junker Queen.
that sounds like a skill issue on your part, okay? You need to be going into his bullets. Anna doesn't have time to track you.
Oh yeah, I'll just go right in front of him and block every other shot. Let's do that.
That's
Great
perfect.
plan.
The
Okay.
hashtag life tips. Hashtag
Thank you.
Overwatch tips. All right. A shout out to John Zara. 1 second.
Says shout out to John Zara and then just leaves the podcast.
I'm sorry. They're
Just so me and Jordan can end it.
they're picking up the dog.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to John Zara for allowing us to use Old Lang Syne as our ending song. Shout out to both of my Twitch mods today. That is OniRam93 and OGT Nasty. And I think that about sums it up.
Yeah.
So guys, my name is Kenny Crick Irish Kirby. Keep it weird out there.
And I'm Rabble, and yeah, guys, see you next month.
And I am Spider Dude, and I will web you up.
Peace, guys. I'm gonna go sleepy.
Man, go to sleep. It's like
Yeah,
midnight
go to
there.
sleep, man.
Yeah. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
I'm just gonna drink a Red Bull and play a Suicide Squad.
No, that's not.
before, you know, I get taken out by the sleep monster.
I gotta play with Mr. Lord of all door frames before he flips out on me.
What on over our Fortnite?
Yeah, he wants me to get Snake.
Do you have?
And I fell
Snake?
asleep last night.
The what?
What?
Oh, you fell
Oh, I
asleep
just.
on him?
Yeah, I fell asleep on him.
I'm sorry for my nephew, Lord of Old Door
No, it's
Frames.
called professional skills. Okay.
Professional naps.
It's a skill issue if you don't go with my schedule. Like,
Oh, okay. I guess my entire life's a skill issue then.
yep.
All right, everyone. Have a good